I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I don't remember none of my credentials. I'm trying to get an EPUB reader so I can read it the way Romero sent it. One sec. I'm still here, guys. Hold up. I'm here. I'm here. One more minute. Technical difficulties. Hello, OG. Long time no see, dude. Okay, it's installing. Hold up. These 23 megabytes are taking forever. Who knows how long? We're like a minute into the download, and it's still download. I know, we got the little monkey on the right. Something is wrong. It's still loading. Hello, Easy. What's up, dude? What's up, OG? Don't worry, we're switching. Let me switch screens now. Hold up. Ain't no way. 15. Bro, can this download any slower? Did a guy punked? I expected reading, not waiting 20 minutes. No, I'm still here. I'm still here. Full cam. Full cam. We're here. We're still here. Hold up. I'm downloading. Hold up. I'm downloading, like a book reader. I want to see if it works. That way we can read, like, better translations. And before we start, I do want to check out one trailer, and it'll be super quick. Don't worry, the trailer's only like 2.5 minutes, so we're gonna breeze through that sucker really quickly. Hold up, okay, it's almost done. 80% installed. This reader is almost done downloading. Oh, can you see my cold sore? Oh, don't look at that. That's gross. Don't look at that, guys. I just eat like this so I can hide it. Oh, that's ugly. Alright, doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Alright, it's almost done. Okay. It installed. Let me just open it. Alright. Bear with me. So I am now on a reader. Yay. Okay. All books. These are my collections. Hold up. Bear with me. Home. No, so let me close it. And then we should have access to this now. GTA gonna be in 2030? Bro, I want to quickly watch the trailer. I know. And I'm opening the book right now. Hold up. I'm opening the Lord of Mysteries book. I want to see if it works. Why is it only 8 pages? I don't... Lord of Mysteries. Hold up. I have it right here. Oh my god. It's taking so long. Oh my god. My thing is chugging. We're on chapter 487. No, am I gonna scroll down? 487. Okay, hold up. Let me just go to the chapter. Why is it like this? How do I... This is weird. What's with this template? I can put in night mode. Page layout. Ah, perfect. Page layout. Okay, so I think we're good. I got it ready. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I think we can read it like this. I should be able to read this. Oh. I can make the font even bigger for my boomer brain. Okay, we're good. We're chill. Okay, I think this could work. All right, perfect. So I have it up here ready. All right, I have it ready. So let me just quickly watch this GTA 6 trailer and then we'll get started. Caliber? Hello, fellow viewers. Hello. You guys joined super quick. All right, you guys ready? Hold up. Let me just watch this bad boy and then we'll get started. Hold up. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you how long I've been in this series. Don't worry, I'm only stalling for like 5 more minutes so we can watch this GTA trailer, and then we're done. All right, let's start. I want to quickly watch this, and then we'll get started. Okay. I go to what, PC? Yes, we're on PC. My thing is really zoomed out. Bear with me. My thing is really... The aspect ratio is really off. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Let me quickly make the camera big. Alright, before we read it, let me show you this. I got GTA 4 when it came out, bro. This game was fire. And then, the damn disc chipped. The disc chipped and I couldn't beat the game. And then, in the beautiful year... of, when was it? Because I still keep my receipts. September 17th of 2013. At roughly 4 p.m. we bought GTA 5. That is crazy, dude. That's so wild, man. I've been playing these damn games for like 20 years. Okay, wait, hold up. I should make my camera smaller. Alright, let me just watch this, and then we're gonna read more Lord of Mysteries. I'm excited. I'm really pumped. I'm looking forward to this game. I only played the PS2 games. Ooh, those were good too.
What
Vice
you
City
doing
was a
up
fun
there?
game too.
I'm just fixing some leaks.
It's a dozen years ago.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying
I should probably turn on closed caption.
tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me
That's
my
the MC,
checks.
right?
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
I'm sorry, is that Arthur Morgan?
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Why does it sound like Arthur Morgan from Red Dead? Oh, wow. Oh. Ooh. Definitely copyrighted. Okay. The stream is definitely copyrighted. Maybe because we muted it, we're chill. Yeehaw! Giddy up. Oh.
See you, Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
Jason
I
Duval.
seen you here before.
Nah.
He might have.
Oh, he was probably in jail before. Vice City, dude. Oh my goodness. Wait, that's a crazy still to pause on. Hold up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't even pause the game. Whoa, whoa. Wait, wait, whoa, whoa. America. Let me pause in that American shot. Wow. I felt like the bald eagles flying in the background. Hold up, man. That's crazy, dude. This honestly looks... this is probably like the best looking game.
Hey.
Games literally don't look this good. This is all in-game. Like, how? This looks so... I like him already. That is so sick. Oh my god. As a release date, right? Because I know... Oh. We gotta wait one more year. We gotta wait one more year, dude. That's wild, dude. I don't even think we should go back and look at the screenshots, man. That's kind of wild, man. This game, whew, got a little spicy, bro. It got a little spicy. Rip, yeah, RIP. We got a GTA 6 trailer before. Wait, we got a GTA 6 trailer before GTA 6. Is this the end of the memes? I think it is. Would my PS4 be able to run it? What do you think, Easy? I think it could. It's gonna be running like a jet. Yeah, right. That's the joke, right? It's like a jet engine when you start it up when you're playing GTA 5. No, dude, it's probably gonna blow up. We definitely need to upgrade. We're gonna need a beefier PC when it eventually comes out after like a year or two. We got Elton before the GTA 6 trailer. Yeah, I know, man. We did it, man. That's hype. That is so cool. All right, you guys ready, man? That's it. I just want to watch that. That's wild, bro. Dude, hold up, man. This game. These characters, bro, I don't know what they're eating, but these characters are like shredded and like built. Everybody looks like a Greek god or like a Greek goddess in this trailer. That's wild, bro. All right, you guys ready? I'm pumped. All right, okay, wait. I'm gonna try and read a chapter on this new format. I want to see if I can read it. So apparently we got better translations now, thanks to Romero. Romero hooked it up. So we're gonna go over here now. We're going to try the new translations, and we're going to see how it works out. All right, let me kind of move a little bit more in frame. I feel like I need to move my mic down. Not my mic. I feel like I need to move my camera down just a smidge, but I think we're good. It's all right. We're fine. We're fine. All right, so we're going to hide this because we're going to be reading new translations. I lost the translations. I found the translations. We're good? I found them? Okay, now I'm going to pop out chat. I'm going to put you guys down here so I don't lose sight of you all. Let me put you down here. That way I can now see what you guys are saying. and I don't have to get too lost. Okay, and then we're gonna put our music down here. Okay, and then I'm gonna scroll down. Okay, I'm gonna put the volume down on my end. Zero stalling, zero stalling. All right, zero stalling. Hold up, hold up. Technical difficulties. Hold up. New file format. Hold up. I'm getting used to the new file. I can change the font style. What's a... Oh, I can't fucking read that. What's a good font size, bro? Holy shit. Wait, I fucked up. I shouldn't have fucked around with font size. Do you guys have any recommended font sizes to read? I'll put in Times New Roman. Times New Roman is good. All right, I'm gonna read it in Times New Roman. I think that's fine. I can read Times New Roman. My notes are in Times New Roman too, so we're chill. All right. And then let me just open up my notes and we start. All right. Oh, notepad has been opened. Timestamps is 00. Awesome intro. Beautiful. We are ready. Depends on monitor size. Impact font size 100 bold. Impact font size. Okay. Hold up. Impact. Give me 2 seconds. There are so many fucking font sizes. Impact. Whoa. Wait. I actually can read. I can't read that. Bro, what the... I can't read none of this. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Hold up. I'm not used to this. I'm just putting this bitch in Arial. No, I can't read none of this, bro. My eyesight is really bad. I read it Times New Roman, font size 36. I think I just got put in Times New Roman. I'm gonna go back Times New Roman. And then we're gonna increase this bitch to like font size 36. Use Laura? Okay, let me look at Laura one time, and then I'm gonna see. If Laura ain't gonna cut it, we're gonna go back to Times New Roman. Laura. Oh, for a second I thought it was unhinged. I said that. I thought he got me, bro. Laura, L-O-R-A. There is no Laura on this. L-U, Lucidia. No, there's no Laura. Wait, what's all this fancy stuff? I'm just reading the PDF. Comic Sans? Well, no, the PDF wasn't in I didn't know how to put in dark mode. And it was taking forever to load, so we just got an EPUB. It's alright. We'll leave in Times New Roman. That's good. Okay, zero stalling. Let's get started. We've been live for 13 minutes. I've stalled long enough. Let's go. It's good. It's chill. We're good. Alright. Notepads up here. Beautiful. And like, son of a bitch. Okay, we're good. Use whatever. I like Laura personally. Okay. I'll look into a better reading font style. Wow. I mean, the font size is really big. Did I lose? Okay. Alright. Wait, I thought we read the Growing Terror Club. Hold up. I read that chapter. I read 487. We're on 488. Yeah, we're on 488. I've read that. We're on 488. We're on living expenses. We read the Growing Terror Club, correct? Yeah, 48. I know. It's best just load it onto your phone and read whenever. No, yeah, it lagged. OBS crashed, but we're still live. Let me just make sure. That was the last one we read, right? 477? I should know this. Yeah, we read 487. Yeah, we had the Jack Sparrow thumbnail. Okay, we're good. We're chill. All right, now we start. Zero stalling. All right. Are you guys ready? OBS crashed, but we are still live, and the recording has now started. Now, it is time for Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, to embark on his journey and find a mermaid out at sea, correct? Right? Jack Sparrow's out at sea trying to find a mermaid. All right, perfect. All right. Or are we going to be reading like Luffy trying to find the One Piece? It's one or the other. But for now, chapter 400, where's music? Music is really low, huh? You guys probably can't even hear it. But chapter 488 is called Living Expenses. Beautiful. All right, let's keep reading. All right, beautiful. Let's see how we do. All right, you guys let me know. Hold up, let me copy and paste. Can I just not copy and paste right here? Copy, paste. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Mr. Bloodborne himself Yeah, you're right. It is Mr. Bloodborne. Now it's Mr. Bloodborne. Pre-ordering a mystical item, Olger was stunned for a second before he realized what Miss Justice was talking about. And we are recording. Yes, we are recording. The limits of his mind were widened, and he felt that there was room for exploration. In a particular sense, beyond her characteristics, the world has entrusted to me has been sold. There is simply definite destination to the item. I can easily simplify the process and make things benefit me more easily. That is to say, I don't have to sell it to the artisan again. Instead, I should choose to entrust the work. This way, I don't have to worry about whether the characteristic can be sold. I can receive the commission from the world and also obtain more profit from Miss Justice's side. The only capital I need to put up is the fabrication fees. The fabrication fees for entrusting the job. Of course, I have to consider if the artisan will be willing to promise to take the risk. Many thoughts flashed through his mind as he quickly weighed the pros and cons and finally came to the decision. Whoa, hold up. I'm scrolling down. Hold up. Oh my god, I'm not used to the scroll. Hold up. I actually gotta get used to the scrolling now. Oh, you're seeing money bags? Dude, he's seeing money signs. Oh, hold up. I need to make the font size a little bit smaller. I think 34. Okay, I gotta get used to the font size. So now I gotta read top to bottom. Okay. Ooh, I gotta get used to this. Oh my god, I can't read this shit in full screen. This is actually throwing me out. I think I can read. How do I exit full screen, bro? What is going on here? Alright, the bigger the better, in my opinion. I use page turner rather than scroll. Okay, yeah, no, I've been used to scroll, so I'm always reading at the top. So now I'm moving my eyesight down. Alright, hold up. This first chapter is gonna be a little scuffed as we get used to this. Depending on how we do, we might go back to the previous translation. We'll see how it goes. Let me read this part because we're not used to the new our new reading format. Many thoughts flashed through his mind as he quickly weighed the pros and cons and finally came to a decision. No problem, I'll take care of this matter. He looked at Miss Justice and felt that she was emitting a blinding light of gold. Even after joining the Church of Storms and drifting out at sea for so many years, he had never encountered someone like that anywhere else. There were plenty of sea merchants and even more wealthy people, but none of them really didn't care about money. Has Miss Justice's financial situations improved to this extent? Clang was shocked too. For a moment, he wanted to speak out to urge her to pay the 2,000 pounds she owned to his blessed. So it's not the adorer. The new translation is too elite for my pleb translation. Wait, see, so it's not adorer anymore. Instead of adorer, it's his blessed. Okay, so this is a new translation. 2,000 pounds she owed to his blessed as soon as possible, but considering that he had already agreed to Miss Justice postponing her repayment until February or March, he could only keep silent and not ruin his image as a fool. At the I scrolled down too much. At the very least, the money of the faceless beyond her characteristics will be available soon. The speed only depends on how Mr. Hangman contacts a particular artisan and the speed at which the artisan can produce the mystical items. Unfortunately, I can only rely on Mr. Hangman to contact the artisan for the time being. Finalizing a big deal, Olger heaved a silent sigh out of relief, feeling his financial situation slowly improve. Oh no, we exited. Yeah, no, 488. Oh, wait. And since we're on 488, yeah, think it. Wait, no. Alt F4 closes everything. Are you guys trolling me? Who said Alt F4? That closes. We're back? Yeah, no, we're back. Yeah, OBS crashed earlier, so I think it's taking a while for it to adjust. By the way, we're good. We're back? Yeah, we're back. We're good. Even after joining the Church of Storms and drifting out at sea for so many years, he had never encountered someone like that anywhere else. There were plenty of sea merchants and even more wealthy people, but none of them really didn't care about money. Has Miss Justice's financial situation... I read this, yeah, my bad. We're not used to this yet, trolling me. After thinking for a few seconds, he asked, ladies and gentlemen, which one of you have a way or item to make everyone on board a ship sleep at... Which one of you has a way or item to make everyone on board a ship sleep at the same time? The reason why Olger still hasn't gone to that primitive island to hunt down the Blue Shadow Falcon was that he hadn't thought of a method of leaving the Blue Avenger as well as the 10 or so sailors and crew members of the church without garnering any suspicion. Oh yeah, because he's trying to hide his advancement in order to digest the same potion again. And then when he has his kid, he just gets to ease the burden, right? Let everyone on a boat fall into a deep sleep. The first thing Klein thought of it was the biological poison bottle, but the effects of this thing was completely uncontrollable. so he was afraid that the outcome wouldn't look too good. Then he remembered the nightmare soul and creeping hunger, making people fall into a deep sleep and drag them into the dreams were specialties of this beyond her job. But the problem lies in the fact that a nightmare is unable to make that many people fall asleep at the same time. The limit to its influence doesn't exceed 10 to satisfy Mr. Hangman request and needs to be sequence 5 of the corresponding pathway or even that of a demigod. Klein struck down the thought and didn't let the world speak. At the same time, Audrey, Forrest, Derek either shook their heads in response or answered with a no. Emlyn tried to recall and said, I can help you ask. Perhaps us and Gwen have some mystical item that has a similar effect in the clan. Always saying us and Gwen. In the future, I can convince him by targeting this angel. Augur noticed this and nodded with a smile. I'll have to trouble you. Chat, guess what I'm eating for breakfast? I was about to say a bidet. I'm in a baguette. Yeah, I'll shut up. I was trying to work on my French. Seeing that the transactions were coming to an end, Klein quickly got the world to bring up the latest necessities. Everyone help me keep an eye out on the remote spirituality of ancient wraiths and a pair of eyes from a six-winged gargoyle. Other than that, the supplementary ingredients weren't too hard to purchase. He didn't think it was necessary to go through the Terror Club. Alright, Derek was the first to respond, then he added, feeling somewhat embarrassed. Mr. World, the method for removing the mental corruption of beyond a characteristic will still require some time. I should be able to advance to sequence 7 soon. With that said, he looked to the side. Mr. Hangman, once I return to the City of Silver, I'll make a list of the commonly seen monsters in the vicinity. He kept everything he owned other than others and every promise he made without fulfilling them in his mind. These plagued him to the point that he couldn't even sleep in peace. No problem, the gloomy world indifferently said. Klein really wasn't in a hurry. He hadn't finished concluding his faceless principles, and his digestion of the potion had only just begun. It would still take several months, therefore his plan wasn't to head straight into the Gargars archipelago. Instead, he would act as an adventurer and as a traveler as he worked his way through the colonial islands. From time to time, he would exchange his identity and experience life in order to extract the faceless principles. During this process, he would inquire more about the mermaids in detail after knowing that the Church of the Goddess reared such a spiritual creatures and that they possessed high sequence potion forms of the seer pathway. Klein kept feeling worried about the traps placed against every faceless in the Gargars archipelago who sought advancement. In other words, Klein had to spend 2 to 3 months or more. I thought he was only going to be gone for a week. In other words, Klein had to spend 2 to 3 months or more time traveling. Oh, spend time traveling. I thought I like him time traveling. Hold up. Spend 2 to 3 months or more time traveling and adventuring on the Sonia Sea. The long period of time was long before the sun to obtain a potion formula, gather the corresponding ingredients, and descend to sequence 7 of Solar High Priest. With the conclusion of the transaction portion of the gathering, the Terror Club members enter the period for free communication. Oh wow, free communication. That is a new translation. Okay. Audrey didn't disappoint the Hangman's exceptions by standing up first and raising the end of her skirt, bowing towards the very end of the long bronze table. Honorable Mr. Fool, I would like to know the hidden truths behind Backland's great smog. It is purely a result of those cultist bids to awaken the primordial demoness and to allow the true creator's descent. Why did Prince Etzek choose to cooperate with them? According to your principle of equivalent exchange. I'm sorry, they have a principle of equivalent exchange? That was revealed, right? Like, he likes to do information at equivalent exchange. You know what? Never mind. That was revealed. According to your principle of equivalent exchange that was set by you, what do I need to pay in order to obtain the relevant information? If I knew things would have been completely resolved now, the experienced client maintained his relaxed posture, chuckled and said, there's no need. The root of the problem hasn't been discovered yet, but there are enough clues. I hope the members of the 3 churches aren't too stupid. The root of the problems hasn't been discovered yet. Mr. Fool has made his bless give the churches and the military a certain amount of clues. Audrey was rather shocked when she heard this, but she felt that this wasn't too surprising with her previous concerns and worries. Thank you for the answer. She sincerely bowed once more. Is Backland still in danger? Force suddenly felt uneasy. I'm gonna lower the volume down a bit. After Miss Justice sat down, Klein controlled the world and chuckled and said, Mr. Hangman, I discovered the Balin person? The Balin person you mentioned. The Balin who was involved in the escape of the many slaves from the colonial islands. The Hangman replied with disbelief. Yes, reddish-brown skin of the southern continent descent, Backland accent, and the third tooth of his left on his left fake. The world answered hoarsely. It should be him. Olga recalled for 2 seconds before saying, where is he? What's his present identity? Also, Mr. World, do you wish to receive 100 pounds in cash directly or an item equivalent of its worth? This was the mission. This was the mission of the Church of Storms, and purchasing the clues was a reimbursable act. Therefore, the hangman wasn't pressured at all. Of course, money. Of course, money. He needs to make his money back. Yeah, of course, money. Klein, who was vexing over his living expenses, controlled the world to say 100 pounds in cash. That's so funny. Balin is in backline. He was seen meeting a member of MI9 who was loyal to the royal family. I don't know who it was exactly because he was wearing a mask. A member of MI9 who was loyal to the royal family. The hangman ruminated over the words, and then he remembered Miss Justice's question: why did Prince Edseg work with the Aurora Order and the Demonisec? It also points to the royal family. I like how they're already piecing this together. Mr. Full back to being a peasant. Maybe he ain't that almighty, right? It also points to the royal family. Can the two cases be one and the same? The truth behind all this involves the disappearance of the slaves. Olger felt that he could vaguely see some key points. You really are a well-informed and well-connected person. The 100 pounds in cash will be paid tomorrow. Olger calmly said his thanks. The world laughed and turned to look at the sun. Kid, do you know ancient Hermes? Derek didn't try to hide anything as he replied honestly. I've heard of the Hermes language, but the city of Silver doesn't have that kind of knowledge. During the second epoch, there was no distraction between Hermes and ancient Hermes. It was only the same during the fourth epoch that ancient Hermes was it was only sometime during the fourth epoch that ancient Hermes was simplified, accordingly making it easier to be used, taught, and disseminated for daily use. I can't even read that word. Disseminated for daily use. New translation. The Tarot Clubs is smart. Yeah, man. They all have big brains, man. I would definitely not fit in this Tarot Club. I'd be so lost. I'd be like Derek, like, huh? But without any of the City of Knowledge info. I'd just be like the part when I'm lost when they're speaking. However, it no longer had such a strong and direct effect on rituals. That is to say that Hermes, spoken by Little Sun, is equal to ancient Hermes. There really is a person known as Hermes in the history of the City of Silver. In the City of Silver? That is to say that Hermes, spoken by Little Sun, is equal to ancient Hermes. That is true. There really is a person known as Hermes in the history of the City of Silver. Klein secretly nodded and said, a pity. I wanted to ask for a favor. At this moment, Audrey remembered some... One sec. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, quick phone call. We're good. We're chill. Okay, good thing I had the video pause. I was like, shit. I was like, did I fucking forget to pause the recording? I heard my phone vibrating. I'm like, it has to be a call. Because I put on Do Not Disturb and had the screen facing down. It's in new level stalling. Now it's hidden. No, I had a phone call. It was a quick phone call, but we're done. We're chill. Phone call's over. We're good. Let me find my place. According to making this moments ago, at this moment, I remember something. Okay. Let's read from here after that slight interruption. At this moment, Audrey remembers something from their conversation. It was something that originated from the psychology alchemist. She had intended to communicate directly, but after looking at the new member, Mr. Moon, she felt that she didn't understand him too well, so she raised her hand slightly and said, Honorable Mr. Fool, I have something to report to you. Klein nodded slightly and isolated the senses of everyone else. What is it? He asked in a calm manner. Audrey said, honestly, I got some information from the psychology alchemists. The most important thing is that they were founded after excavating the ruins of Hermes, who was the master who created ancient Hermes. ancient Hermes. The ruins of ancient Hermes. This old gentleman was still alive 100 or 200 years ago. Had he deliberately guided the psychology alchemist to discover the relics, or had he perished in the result incident? Klein was stunned for a moment. After deliberating for a moment, he smiled at her and reminded her. Hermes is the member of the Twilight Hermit Order. He didn't mention that Hermes could still be alive because it was impossible to confirm. Hermes is a member of the Twilight Hermit Order. The psychology alchemist might have something to do with the mysterious organization. Oh, shit. So there might be a connection. Audrey was stunned before she let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I have the Terror Club and Mr. Fool backing me. Otherwise, I would have no way of knowing and no way to guard against. Once again, she grandly praised the Fool. At this point, Klein wanted to comfort Miss Justice so that she wouldn't be too distressed and worried about the Backland incident. Maturing didn't mean that she had to give up positive moods and smiles. It wouldn't affect her ability to take things seriously and would instead help her preserve for a long period of time. However, after consideration, in order to maintain his image as a fool, he had to give up this advice he gained from being a former clown. Oh, well, we're done with the chapter. He then removed the isolation barrier around the other members, waiting for the end of the exchange and the end of this tarot society. The end of this tarot gathering. Oh man, that translation is gonna be really scuffed, huh? Oh, but it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be a good fun. It's gonna be a good read through. All right, next chapter, man. The Tarot Society. Oh no, the Tarot Society. I can't get over that. But it's okay. We'll see how the translations turn out. All right, next chapter. 13 minutes, 36 seconds. I see you at me. I will look at that right now. Apologies. Update chapter. Thank you. Society. We live in the society. And then Klein's gonna drop a line. We live in the society. Oh shit, man. Next fucking chapter. All right, next chapter. 489 is called Held Up Suggestion. After another round of conversations, Derek suddenly asked a question. Honorable Mr. Fool, what kind of gesture should we use when we would like to thank you usually? Hand gesture. Klein was momentarily stumped by Little Son's question. It had never occurred to him to imitate the gesture of drawing a clockwise circle from the Church of the Goddess, nor the Church of Storm's praying gesture of striking the left one's chest with the right fist. This is probably the last bottom line of a fake god he lampooned. Oh. This is probably the last bottom line of a fake god he lampooned inwardly. Seeing Mr. Fool smile without a word as though he was waiting for her and the others to make suggestions, Audrey suddenly had a lot of inspiration and came up with a new question. Her eyes sparked as she looked around and said, everyone, should we design a secret gesture to indicate our identity? Our Terror Club doesn't have many members at present, so there's no need to worry about us appearing at the same spot and ending up opposing each other due to... Oh, she's going to do it for fours though, right? Due to various reasons, but in the future it might be very difficult to avoid that. We need to set unique signals so as to identify friends from foe. I have an idea for that. Klein suddenly remembered the secret hand gestures he knew from his previous life, such as the hand-end waistcoat. Like this? Like, what's up? Just as he was about to manipulate the world to make suggestion, the hanged man opened his mouth. No, Miss Justice, I don't think it's a good idea. Compared to the other secret organizations, our Terror Club's most striking characteristic is that the members do not know each other. Oh. Even if, let me raise an extreme example. Even if one of our members are captured and interrogated, they wouldn't be able to affect the others unless there's someone who can resist Mr. Fool and enter this place directly. And that is clearly impossible. Impossible? For now. For now. Once we have a full set of signals and passcodes, traders can allow the opposing faction to use the means to fish us out one by one. Yo, Alger is thinking like 5 steps ahead, bro. This guy is like, no, because if we have a trader, they're going to be in on it. Yo, oh man, he's smart. Oh, we're definitely going to get a trader, bro, in like a future volume. I already know it. Ooh, once we... Ooh, who's it gonna be, though? Oh, once we have a full set of signals and passcodes, traders can allow the opposing faction to use the means to fish us out one by one. Not only that, Cuttlefish is really good at foreshadowing. I was going through my notes, and I forgot who it was that said, like, I would not like to die on an empty stomach, and who died on an empty stomach at the end of Volume 2, right? Like, who didn't get to eat his food, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I think it did. Maybe the lag was on your end. It looks good on me. And he's definitely not gonna join Paul. Yeah, I mean, we are. You know what? I did say that a long time ago, Paul. I mentioned a long time ago that Amon could easily be like a double agent, right? Like, he might be for the true creator, but in reality, maybe he wants to be for the fool. Yeah, old Kohler, R.I.P. That's sad, man. That broke my heart. Oh my God! Wait, it was him. Old Kohler literally said, "I would not like to die on an empty stomach." Like, huh? Because after the old lady died, he was like, well, at least she died on a full stomach. Like, and then he was like, "I would like to also die on a full stomach." And then he's like, "Heh heh heh." So we know Cuttlefish foreshadows. So I mean, who knows, man? Maybe Alger's gonna be like a spy in the future, right? And this is just him, like, kind of like foreshadowing it and like trying to get himself off the radar for when there eventually is a traitor. Maybe, or I'm just overthinking. Are you that eager to flaunt your identities as a Terror Club members? Audrey temporarily failed to provide a rejoinder as she snapped, but it's reasonable to worry about the situation you mentioned, but this can be avoided through our fixed interaction every week and creating a temporary gesture ahead of time, as well as spraying to Mr. Fool. In consideration that she would be providing him large amounts of gold, Auger's tone gradually turned pleasant. Audrey, that's pretty smart. Audrey replied with some understanding. The simplest example is that the Tarot gathering on Monday will first understand if there's a possibility of us bumping into another member to the point of entering a conflict. Hence, we'll design a set of temporary gestures to identify ourselves. After the matter is over, we will immediately abandon that gesture. If there's any sudden situation we're unable to communicate in time, or if there's some suspicion, we can seek an opportunity to pray Mr. Fool to confirm if another member is participating in the same event. Something like that. Alger let out a silent breath. At that moment, Derek suddenly said in enlightenment, "Sorry, I asked a foolish question. Mr. Fool never mentioned any gesture to thank him because he was worried about us exposing ourselves." He immediately looked to the end of the long bronze table. "Your wish steers our path." Damn, dude. Oh shit, I scrolled down too much. "I just thought of a special hand gesture." Klein chuckled and replied, "That's right." He cast his gaze towards the other members, said in a composed manner, "Let us end today's gathering here." By your will, all the members, apart from the moon, stood up at the same time. Emlyn froze for a second before standing up in a flurry, mimicking the bows of the other members. A deep red light immediately appeared in front of his eyes and held his body pumped slightly. Soon after, his vision returned to normal, and he saw the dolls of his various sizes in his room. Few. Only until this moment that Emlyn White completely calmed down as he recalled his first tarot gathering. Oh yeah, that was his first tarot gathering. Apart from Mr. Fool, the other members don't seem too powerful. Could they be like me, chosen from various reasons? I have the ancestor backing me, so who's backing them? What a joke. I originally imagined the sun to be a demigod who just escaped the pursuit of an angel. It turned out that he's only sequence 8 and seeking to advance to sequence 7. Dude, Emlyn is so like... He's not conceited. What's the word? He views himself as such a big shot. You know what? You know what's the proper way? He has main character complex. Yes. He has main character complex like Leonard. That's exactly what Emlyn White has. A child who doesn't know manners definitely isn't an adult yet. However, and I love that. I love that fact. Emlyn White is already such a good character, man. A child who doesn't know manners, and I'm sorry, I still have a stuffy nose, so sorry if it sounds kind of gross. A child who still doesn't know manners definitely isn't an adult yet. However, the city of Silver that he mentioned and the experience that he had undergone are very strange. I have to find an opportunity to ask Lord Nibs. No, I have to first ask Cosme, as well as my parents. I'll see if they know anything about the City of Silver, huh? How dare the history books of the City of Silver tamper with the feats of us and Gwens? Miss Justice is from Backland. She's very, very rich. Is she the daughter of some rich banker or the daughter of some noble? Perhaps she's a banker or a noble herself. Miss Magician looks at me very strangely. She must admire the lofty Gwen. She doesn't speak as much and didn't divulge much about herself. Yes, she's a quiet girl. Mr. Hangman is a mature gentleman. He knows a lot, has a sublime character. He's willing to answer the questions from new members and is willing to provide the corresponding help and information. It can be said that he's very popular. The sun and the world are both willing to ask him questions and seek his help. The world is quite an unlikable person. When he speaks, it's like there's phlegma in his throat and he can't spit it out. That's me right now, dude. I can't spit it out because I'm so congested. I would disdain even drinking such a person's blood. I feel offended, bro. It has a dirty taste. He's very introverted and is good at hiding his emotions. Furthermore, he easily produced a sequence 7 beyond her characteristic and promised to provide a psychiatrist beyond her characteristic in 2 months. Very impressive. As the details flashed through his mind, Emlyn discovered that the Tarot Club was simple, but also not very simple. Furthermore, Mr. Fool didn't interfere much with the development of the gathering. He seems to only be interested in the so-called result diaries, but he is willing to offer convenient services on the level of miracles to his members. At this thought, Emlyn couldn't help but feel a little proud of his identity as the moon. Surveying the room of dolls, he recalled his own problem, a relic worth 4,000, 5,000 pounds, a chance to become a baron in his short period of time. This is really putting me in a difficult position. At that moment, although Emlyn hadn't made his final decision yet, he felt the room grow darker, as though he were shouldering a heavy debt. In the ancient palace above the grey fog, Klein pressed his thumb and middle finger on his right hand to one temple and gently rubbed it. His thumb and middle finger to the of his right hand to the temple. Oh, he's rubbing his head. I thought that was a hand gesture. My bad. The world is a fake. I think each other's annoying. He quickly sat up in a silent environment, allowing a small badge to fly out from the junk. A badge? Lenavus's badge? Small badge should fly out of the junk pile and... Oh, wait. Is he... Oh my God. Wait. He's Klein is a faceless. I never said this, but he's gonna disguise himself as Lenavus and go to the meeting now that he's a faceless, right? That has to be it. That was the whole setup. It said you can come if you have this thing. So, I mean, the only way he can go if he was a faceless and then he disguises himself as Lenavus. I never said that. Or I forgot if I said that. It's been so long since the fight, so I don't remember. Because I think I remember we read the fight and he received that item before I took my trip to Japan. And that was like early February. Lenavus got... Yeah. So he quickly set up in a silent environment, allowing a small badge to fly out from the junk pile. I got so excited just reading the word small badge. To fly out from a junk pile and land on the long bronze table in front of him. The badge was only the size of an eyeball. On the surface, there were symbols that symbolized fate and concealment. It was the item that Klein had found on Lenavus's body. Lower the volume down just a smidge. On the back, it was inscribed with the words, "You can join if you have this item." An ancient Hermes. It also provided the corresponding information. Oh, that's coming up. Because the new year passed, right? We're in the new year. Corresponding information for the gathering. January 4th, 1350, 8 p.m. and Babur Valley. Bubba was something Valley. The question Klein needed to consider now was whether he should take the badge to Berber Valley tomorrow night to try his luck. Ain't no way it's tomorrow. Frankly speaking, he was inclined to not delving deeper. Even though he had already advanced to faceless and was able to put on a perfect disguise, he didn't want to take the risk because he didn't know anything about the gathering. A magician never performs unprepared. He muttered softly, took out a gold coin and held it between his fingers. He picked up the badge with his other hand and muttered to himself, "It's risky to attend the gathering in Babur Valley." After repeating it a few times, he finally flicked a gold coin. The gold coin thumbled down and stood upright in the palm of his hand. This meant that the divination had failed. As expected, Klein was surprised. So it's dangerous. This isn't a problem of insufficient information, but rather the complete absence of it. Oh, somebody's interfering. He sat there in silence, letting the gold coin weave between his fingers. In the end, Klein overcame his curiosity and adventure spitting spirit and decided, oh, he's not gonna go. And decided not to go. You know, would be funny if he had the master key and he ended up there by accident. Fly? We're gonna fly over there or what? But that doesn't mean that I can't get involved. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., huh? He smiled faintly and returned to the real world. January 4th, 10:35 in the morning, Klein stood in front of the mahogany table and picked up a stack of bills. There were 5 10-pound notes and 10 5-pound for a total of 100 pounds. This was the payment which the hangman had just paid via sacrifice. The 50 notes made Klein's wallet much fuller, and he was finally able to buy his ticket in peace. Putting his wallet away, he picked up a thin human skin glove. Creeping hunger? Thin human skin glove on the table and put it on his left hand. One of the main features of creeping hunger... Oh, it camouflages. Yeah, right. I remember that now. One of the main features of creeping hunger was that it had a camouflage effect when it wasn't in use and couldn't be detected by most beyonder means. Therefore, Klein was able to switch between its original appearance, gloves of various colors, and camouflage it as skin. This time, he chose black gloves. To that end, Klein had specifically prepared individual black gloves for the right hand. Soon after, he placed the brown biological poison bottle into a metal box, sealed it with a wall of spirituality, and stuffed it into the inside pocket of his clothes. As for the sun brooch, as long as he wore it and carried it with him, it would create a hot summer feeling. Klein had no choice but to put it in his iron cigar case and hide it at the bottom of his suitcase. 9 purifying bullets, 15 demon hunting bullets, 3 exorcism bullets. Klein took out his revolver and a cartridge box, silently counting as he loaded them. Pop. He closed the cylinder instead of the revolver in his underarm holster, put on the black tweed coat and half-top hat, and picked up his cane and suitcase and walked out of the hotel out of the hotel room. Apart from the all-black eye at the other item, he couldn't use still. Oh my god, I'm reading wrong. Apart from the all-black eye and the other items that he couldn't use still being above the gray fog, he was fully armed. Taking a carriage, Klein arrived at Prince Harbor Ticket Company located in White Rose Borough. The company was located in a rather old 3-story building. There was a wooden notice board on the door. Klein walked over and stopped there. He casually glanced at the board, which said, "Things to take note. 1. Maintain order. Lines are strictly enforced. 2. Do not urinate or defecate as well as spitting. 3. Find the guard in the lobby if there is a dispute. 4. Do not open canned wolf fish in any of the rooms because it smell. Canned wolf fish. What's that?" Klein raised his eyebrows. Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Okay. Next chapter. I don't know why boss music is playing. Hold up. Yeah, boss music is playing. Definitely don't want that. Oh, thank God. There's a bookmark tab. So we can just bookmark. Can I also highlight? I wonder if I can highlight. Oh, I can do notes. Text format. I can read out loud? Ain't no way. Okay. Canned wolf flesh. It sounds gross. That sounds pretty bad. All right, timestamp. 27 minutes. 12 seconds. Copy, paste. Pasting. Okay. Updating notes. And we are at 490. Holy shit, dude. That's hype, dude. Of the chapter. That's hype. I mean, not the canned wolf flesh, but it's hype that we hit a new milestone, 490. I'm excited to hit 500. A culinary delicacy. No, it's not biological weapon. It's a bioweapon. What's Wesker would be proud. Biological weapon. Music too low in my opinion, but username is gonna want to get. No, no, you're good. I know the reason is, for example, I don't like it when the music is too loud, at least on my end, because then I lose my train of thought. But I mean, oh, every time we cut to Audrey, I'm gonna play this song. It's called "The White Lady." Let me just give you a tease. I'm gonna play this one every time it cuts to like all the rich people. I would just play this song. We're just gonna loop that song. Let me lower the volume down. Music should be in the background. Yeah, let me put it. I'm gonna at least put the music halfway on my end. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep music halfway on my end, and then I'll probably just adjust it up here whenever the time comes. Like in the meantime, I'll probably keep it like at -3 decibels, 3.5 decibels. You know what fits the rich? Classical. I know, dude. Username, you've been asking for classical for like 6 months, dude. I know, I'm sorry. Next stream. Pinky promise. Give me one more stream. Give me one more stream. Give me one more stream to set up. We got the new reading format, so we've upgraded our reading format. So now we will upgrade Audrey background music and play some classical when the time comes. Pinky promise. I pinky promise. I've never broken a pinky promise. From the first, you know what, bro? It's been 7 months. He said the exact same thing last stream. Don't remind him, Cammy. No, don't remind him, okay? Okay. Wait, okay, before we start reading, did he ever put that in the music domain? Hold up, before we actually continue reading. Let me just open a music domain. Because I remember he put like a copyrighted free website where it was all classical music. Oh, it's right here. Classicals. Ah, Romero read it. Alright, bet. Alright. Free classical music. I'm gonna open. Look, I'm gonna keep the website open. I got you. I'm keeping the website open. Alright. That website is now open. Piano, violin are the OG. Not only that, we can also play this. Ooh. That has it all. Classical, orchestra, piano, violin. This one has it all. But let's keep reading. Oh my god, flashbang. I gotta take that off. Hold up. That was a bad flashbang. Don't do it. Let him suffer. No. We'll put classical. I know I do like listen. Call me cringe. I like listening to classical music here and there. Especially when I watched like your name like a decade ago. Not your name, Your Lie in April. When I saw that shit like a decade ago, I had like my Beethoven phase. You know, I was listening to Beethoven on repeat. All right, but let's keep going. Chapter 490 is called Warning of a Former Sailor. No, it's not cringe. Your Lie in April was a good anime that I watched a decade ago, okay? It was pretty good. I watched it 10 years ago and I cried. I cried pretty hard. Chapter 490, Warning of a Former Sailor. Just make sure we have our timestamps. The lobby of the Prince Harbor Ticket Company was rather spacious with 7 ticketing windows. And I know now the music is too low. Was rather spacious with 7 ticketing windows, but there were already a dozen or so people lined up in front of each. Klein took a glance and didn't directly go to the one of the fewest people. Instead, he took 2 steps to the right and arrived in front of an erected brown board. There were many pieces of white paper pasted on the wooden board announcing all the information about the recent week's passenger ships, including their destinations, the ports they passed, and the prices of different cabins. Before Klein could take a closer look, a staff member came over and drew a red circle on the second-class cabin of one line, marking it for a single phrase, sold out, so popular, Klein's side. Of course, Prince Harbor is the kingdom's largest port. Countless people passed through here to the southern continent and the colonial islands to seek out the opportunities. A middle-aged man who was standing next to the wooden board replied in a clearly boastful manner. He was wearing a black bonnet and a black and white checkered uniform similar to that of the police, but he had no epaulettes. Epaulettes. All he had was a seagull badge hanging from his chest, exactly identical to the logo of the Prince Harbor Ticket Company. The middle-aged man's face, hands, and all of his exposed skin were bronze and... Who? The middle-aged man's face, hands, and all of his exposed skin were bronze in color and rather rough. It was as if he had been exposed to the sea breeze and the sun for so many years, to the point of giving people the feeling that he had salt in his wrinkles. Find the guard in the lobby if there's a dispute. This should be the guard. Klein remembered that he had to pay attention at the door. He didn't mind that the other party had taken the initiative to talk to him. He smiled and said, "You seem to understand this port very well." Put the volume up a little bit because I do like this song. Expedition 33 is fire, bro. I like this track. Yeah, and I lost my place. Very well. Okay. Hearing this question, the middle-aged man replied quite smugly, "I was once a sailor with the kingdom's navy, and the main base was located at Prince Harbor, Oak Island. I served for 15 years and spent a long time in sea around here. If it wasn't for East Bottom's war destroying my health, then I could be a sailor for another 10 years. I know this port as well as I know my wife's body." Whoa, okay. A little cultured, but also a little vulgar. Klein casually chatted with him, having an intention of asking about news on the sea. "You became a guard here after retiring?" "No. I was crammed into a night school for 2 whole years as a student and as a gatekeeper. Holy Lord of Storms, can you imagine the scene of someone my age reciting with a bunch of teenagers? And they know and remember words faster than I do." The guard showed an expression that showed how unbearable it was to reflect on the past. As he spoke, he patted his thigh and sighed, "Unfortunately, my knees can't stand wet weather. Otherwise, I would be a part-time teacher at night. Those kids will make you feel young, but I won't deny that it's because I want to earn more money. When you have a wife and 4 children, you have to realize that you have to support your family." "Sir, you talk a little too much. Maybe that's why the ticket company hired you as a guard." Klein smiled and didn't continue with the man's topic. "I just saw things take note at the door and found that canned wolf fish are not permitted to be open here. Frankly speaking, I've never heard of such a thing." The guard's expression suddenly became complicated. He pinched his nose and said, "It's a food that's popular in places like the east coast of Fasik and Gargaris Archipelago. It's wolf fish pickled in salt, but it retains the blood and the smell. The smell is very, very stimulating. It stinks and it's disgusting. It turns out to be food of unknown origins." Klein laughed and said, "But I don't think anyone would specifically eat canned food while waiting in line to buy a ticket, right?" You wouldn't be surprised, Klein. Come on. "No, you don't understand that feeling. Perhaps one day you will." The guard showed a look of lingering fear. "There's once a barbarian from the north who came here to buy a ticket. As there were already many people lined up in front of him, causing the hall to look like a barrel filled with fish, he became very anxious, so he opened a can of wolffish. In less than 10 seconds, only he and a few guys were left in the lobby. This is a biological weapon, an ordinary version of my biological poison bottle," Klein laughed. In the end, he successfully bought a ticket, and a new point to take note of was added outside. The result wasn't as he expected. The lady and gentleman in charge of the ticket sales also escaped. As you know, the brains of the barbarians are even worse than that of curly-haired baboons. Oh, our people, our baboons. The guard chuckled. "When I was a sailor, there was a rumor at sea that a group of pirates controlled a merchant ship from Rolls." That's a city on the east coast of Fasik, and short of the pirates eagerly opened their swells, but who knew that they were barrels filled to the brim with wolffish? Can you guess the outcome? They fainted, vomited and lost their fighting power, and the crew received their bounty reward. Good story. Klein tried not to laugh. He returned his gaze to the pieces of paper of the wooden board and searched for information for a ship scheduled to depart on January 5th. Put this up a bit. This song goes hard. As a professional here, he had previously divided which date was oh my god, now I'm reading wrong. As a professional, he had previously divided which date was suitable for setting sail on this week. It came out to be the 5th and 8th, and among the passenger ships that were headed to the Roasted Archipelago. Oh wait. Roasted Archipelago, the Saint Havre and the White Agate suited him the most. I'm reading so the plot chickens. It does indeed. There are still tickets and the prices are about the same. £4 for third class, £10 for the second class, and £35 for first class. People who depend on the sea for survival more or less believe in the Lord of Storms. Even in the countries like Instant and Fasik, there are fishermen and crew who secretly believe in the forbidden deity. In a bid to be safe out at sea, the name Saint Harbor originates from the Church of Storms. It has a certain background. Klein thought it over. He was inclined to choose the White Gate. Not in a rush to make a decision, he turned to look at the guard. Do you know anything about the White Gate? The guard immediately smiled. Sir, you have a good eye. The White Agate is a steam-powered ship, but also retains a sail. Its maximum speed is 60 knots. Also, the captain is very experienced. He was one of the boatswains of the Royal Navy's William V. No, it should be the Imperial Navy. The king has always claimed that he had obtained the title of Emperor in Balam. Huh. In the Imperial Navy, no matter how outstanding or excellent the average person is, he could at most become a boatswain. I don't know what title that is. A boatswain. A boatswain. He cannot be an official, an officer unless you can satisfy your superior, regardless of what method is used. Only then can you recommend the Prince Harbor Academy as a reserve officer. This is how Elland was forced to leave the Navy and ended up joining the White Gate, where he slowly became captain one step at a time. I suggest you choose a first-class cabin. That way, you'll have room for 3 to 4 servants, an attendant who was receiving adequate lessons, an appointed chef who has excellent culinary skills, a quiet restaurant where you can enjoy the scenery, a special room for smoking cigars, and a place where you can gather and play cards. Hearing the guard's detailed explanation, Klein couldn't help but feel suspicious. Noticing his expression, the guard smiled in embarrassment. Elend was my boss in the past. He would often treat me to drinks and ask me to help him promote the first class cabins. But you can rest assured that everything I say is true. This really isn't a problem. It's a problem with money, Klein suddenly said to himself. Having made up his mind, he asked for some deliberation. Sir, what advice do you have for a maritime adventure? Oh, he's trying to have a fun adventure? To suit German Sparrow, I'm saying it wrong. Oh my god. Mr. Bloodborne. To suit Mr. Bloodborne's identity, Klein had modified his image silently to make himself seem colder and sharper. Adventurer. The guard unconsciously raised his voice. Many people in the queue turned to look at Klein. Ooh, everybody's turning around. Alright, that's kind of hype. Based on his spiritual intuition, Klein instinctively traced a line of sight. He saw a man in his 30s wearing a black top hat. He had a boorish face, weather-beating wrinkles, and a strong but not tall body and pale blue eyes that had experienced a lot. Another adventurer, Klein and the man looked away just as their eyes met, and at that moment the guard squeezed out a smile and said, I'm sorry, I'm a bit too sensitive on the term adventure. In my opinion, this is equivalent to a fugitive, a sea villain, and a pirate? A person who goes against his pledges. No, I'm not talking about you. You want sincere advice? You have to remember 3 things. First, do not provoke pirates. Second, do not provoke pirates. Third, do not provoke the damn pirates. Unless you're a member of the Navy or the church, do not go against the pirates, Don't be fooled by the enthusiasm of the island girls. Whoa, what is Klein gonna get himself involved in? Do not be fooled by the enthusiasm of the island girls. They're either pirates or want you to take them to Pritz, to Backland. It's not entirely their fault. In order to cheat them of their bodies, many sailors, crews, and passengers paint them a very attractive metropolis and a very beautiful life. Then kick them out of their beds and abandon them, leaving them in the original spots? That is so mean. What a bunch of vile people. In this era, people who live on the sea can't be too kind. Is the order at sea that bad? Pirates are this rampant. Klein nodded and said, "Thank you, I know what to do now." Saying this, he walked over to the line with the least number of people. Behind him, the guard shouted, "And the legends of the treasure at sea are all fake." You're telling me the One Piece is fake? Come on, man. No. It wouldn't be. It's real. After buying a second-class ticket for the Wida Gate, Klein returned to the hotel and waited patiently for the night to descend. In the process, he had joined the most famous fried fish in the Prince Harbor. He thought that the taste was pretty good, but he definitely couldn't accept eating it all the time. When it was close to 8 o'clock, he went above the gray fog, holding the badge from Le Nevus in one hand and writing the corresponding sentence in another. The situation in the gathering this time, tick-tock, tick-tock. When his pocket watch struck 8, he closed his eyes, leaned back in his chair, and began to recite the divination statement. Whitebeard told me it was real? Of course! He's like, you just have to go to Laugh Till, and it's all right there waiting for you. Oh my, I almost disconnected my power. That would have been bad. He had a reason to believe that when the door of the gathering opened, he would be able to divine something above the gray fog with the aid of this medium. Oh, which had locked onto the location, so he doesn't have to physically go. He can just divide it. He had failed before because nothing had happened yet, but this was different. Things were happening now, and Klein had the right medium. Soon, Klein entered the gray fog, blurry dream world. He saw the Tussock River flowing quietly, a wide river valley on the two sides, and about a dozen people in different positions. They were shrouded in thin light, vanishing indistinctively or illusionary. One of them had black hair and green eyes. He looked quite handsome, and he had a familiar face to Klein. Leonard? I'm sorry, did Leonard go? One of them had black hair and green eyes. He looked quite handsome and was familiar face to Klein. Leonard Mitchell. No way! Did he go to the meeting? Dude! Oh, stop. We are recruiting him this volume. Stop it. We're recruiting him this volume. I'm sorry. I see my audio spiking. I'm gonna lower it down just a smidge. We're so recruiting him this volume. The Larn is working with Le Nevus? No, it's not working with Le Nevus. We don't know who gets this badge or not. For all we know, it's a gathering of good people and bad people, and we don't know who's yet. Like, told you Leonard is the MC? Dude, oh, dude, Klein is definitely gonna recruit Leonard this volume, bro. It's gonna be so hype when that happens. It's gonna be so fucking hype when that happens. This is his first time seeing him. Finally, the real MC, like, finally. Leonard's like, fucking make way, bitch. I'm back. I'm fucking back, bitch. Make way. 34 seconds. All right, timestamp. Timestamp. Bear with me. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Copy and paste. And then we're going to update this bitch. Hold up. Copy and paste. Copy and pasting. All right, hold up. Before we start, I took off my socks, but that's a really dumb thing to do. I have a runny nose, so I need to put them back on. Ooh, give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Let me just put my socks on. I'm really not trying to get sick again. By the way, thank you guys, man. There's like 30 of you guys here. Thank you. Just give me 2 seconds while I awkwardly put my socks back on. I'm not trying to get sick. And my nose is slightly still running. Give me 2 seconds. Don't worry. We paused the recording. I know Cammy told me, like, oh, like, why is it a fucking premiere? Was it Cammy or I think it was Z? Somebody said, like, why is it a premiere? Why can't I just watch it on 2x speed? I'm sorry. Easy, I don't know if I can watch it right now. I need to work on my speech. No, it's okay, Bullseye. And I just realized Iron Man Armored Adventures is on Netflix. I'm gonna watch it instead of doing my work. Do your work first. Weird, my messages are not appearing in chat. Lurking. Okay, now they are. I know we had a slight raid once recently. I blurred chat because we had some individuals raid us and say some things, and I ended up enabling the moderation thing to strict. So I think depending on what you type, moderation is a little bit stricter. Back then I had it on moderation, but now I put it as strict. It's like light, moderate, or strict. I put it on strict. So sometimes if messages don't pop up, I think it's like what people type. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if it's like because I don't know. The volume thing still says volume 2. No, it doesn't. You almost got me, bro. Hey, by the way, I hope you guys like the new thumbnail. I figured I'd change it for volume 3. And I might go back and change it for all the older volumes. Like starting from the first reaction. I mean, I updated the first reaction. So at least the thumbnail looks better, but the video is still shit. My first video is so shit, dude. Hold up. I wonder what Vex is gonna get here. Yeah, no, he hasn't tuned in yet, huh? Hold up before we start. Yeah, thumbnail good? Yeah, the thumbnail is good, especially for the first video. But man, it is a pretty shitty episode 1 reaction, man. Hold up. It's like I cringe when I hear myself in that.
Okay, we're gonna try something new, all right? Okay, gamers.
Okay, gamers. You see how I said gamers? Because I'm like, I'm a gamer.
The right corner of his mouth as he
I can't even.
keyboard
hear myself. I can't even hear. I can't even listen to myself. All right, let's keep reading. For your thumbnail, you need to wear the top hat. I know, man. I returned my top hat. I returned my top hat because it's such shitty material, dude. I want to get a better one. Okay, gamers. Okay, guys, we are here today. But now I say, okay, my fellow cultists, my fellow book club members. Okay, chapter 491. Beautiful. All right, perfect. Next chapter. Bro, somehow Easy keeps reading Provoker's messages and getting baited. No, we didn't get baited. No, he wasn't. No, do your Audrey cosplay. Wait, what did Provoker say? I had around 4 to 5 top hats, 6 cowboy hats. All right, let's keep reading. But I do want to buy a fancier top hat. I want to buy like a premium, luxury top hat, and then we're gonna wear that bitch at Anime Expo. So I gotta go shopping. There was never Audrey cosplay. Well, what are you talking about? It's gonna happen one day. There's gonna happen. There's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. Well, I need to build up. Look, when I get fucking shredded and I don't got this ugly ass muffin top because I got too complacent with Easy Geeky and I'm losing weight. When I get shredded, I will do the cosplay. I gotta be in the best shape of my life before I wear that Audrey cosplay. I'm like, hey guys, what's up? But don't worry, guys. We can use AI to put him in the cosplay, whether he likes it or not. That'd be so fucking funny. I'll be like, you guys better take it. If that happens, you guys better take it. It's AI or the real thing. You guys pick. All right, let's read the next chapter in the meantime, before I stall for too long. We're on 491, correct? Yes, we're on 491. Thank you. I discovered when my message is not being sent. Oh, really? Why? It might be because of the strict moderation thing. I'm not sure. Ethical use of AI? Yes, unless it's ethical. Chapter 489 is called the Sherlock Moriarty and the Investigation Report. Leonard Klein thought for a moment that he was mistaken. However, the blurring caused by the light... Wait, hold up. Let me try something. Let me try making this a little bit... Let me lower this a bit. Hold up. Hold up. I'm trying to adjust this so I can... I don't like looking all the way down when I'm reading, so I'm moving the thing like a little bit higher. Okay, I think this is better. Hold up. Beautiful. This is better. This is better. Update chapter. Oh shit. Thank you. Remember, put Klein's new identity name on prohibited words. So when I mention him, my messages don't show. Oh, I don't know if D has access to banned words, so we'll probably have to look at that then. Yeah, we'll damn, he thought really ahead. Yeah, I'll let Romero look, because I know I can't go inside that myself. I'm sorry, did I put it on slow mode? I just realized that. Hold up. I don't know if I put it on slow mode. I see that right there, and I don't know if I have it on slow mode or not. I'm sorry. Hold up. I think I turned off slow mode. I'm a normal mod. No, I don't have access to that. Okay. I'll let Romero know. Just tested it. Lurking is right. Ah, okay. All right. Well, I turned off slow mode. I didn't even realize it was in slow mode. It's off now? Okay. Okay, we turned it off. We turned it off. I didn't realize in slow mode. My bad. That's my fault, guys. Yeah, my bad. Let's do this. It's in normal now. Don't worry. All right, bet. All right, we're good. Yeah, my bad. I didn't know that was on. All right, chapter 491 is called the Sherlock Moriarty and the Investigation Report. Leonard Klein thought for a moment that he was mistaken. However, the blurring caused by the rays of lights wasn't that serious. Being familiar with Leonard, he was able to quickly confirm his previous judgment. In the time it took to take a breath, Leonard disappeared. The light dispersed and the valley returned to the mid-winter silence, the scene which Klein saw in the dream shattered as a result. He opened his eyes and placed the badge that he had obtained from Lendevus on the surface of the long bronze table. Is it really Leonard or a faceless disguised as a Leonard? Klein considered flipping a gold coin. Oh my god, sorry, I'm coughing. That's actually a good observation. It might have been that. Oh man. He got sent to the Shadow Realm. His spirituality had told him through the medium that it was Leonard Mitchell, his teammate from Tinkin Nighthawk team. Is he and the investigator sent by the Church of Gods for the gathering? Or is he risking his life to find an opportunity to find the revenge target while keeping the Nighthawks in the dark? Hold up. Hold up. Holy shit, man. Oh, that's bad. I choked on my saliva for a sec. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. But we're good. We're good. Alright. Tyranny? May chaos take the world? No, definitely not. Klein muttered to himself in suspicion. It's hard to make an accurate judgment, and without any leads, his divination couldn't provide him with any revelations. After a few seconds of silence, Klein gave a self-deprecating smile as he drew a crimson moon on his chest. I wish him the best of luck. May the goddess watch over him. Klein no longer bothered with the problem, and he planned on understanding more about the gathering before deciding whether or not to participate in the feature or to warn Leonard Mitchell anonymously. Backlit in the secret room in the basement of the steam cathedral, Eikenser took off his hat, pressed on his fluffy but not so soft hair, and sat in the first seat on the left. Then he took out the ancient silver mirror of Rhodes from the inner custom-made pocket in his clothes and placed it in front of him. To his right, across from him and diagonally across from him, were the machinery, hive mind, deck hunts, and the captains, all of them who had been summoned by the member of the Divine Council and the Archbishop of the Backland, Hormick Hayden, for a meeting. The white-robed Archbishop looked like an ordinary old man sitting calmly at the end. Seeing that everyone had arrived, he looked around and softly said, "Let's start with Eikenser. Tell me the sequence about the investigation over the past few days." Eikenser Bernard pushed his hair while flipping through the thick document filled as he reported in a concise manner. Your Grace, we were in charge of Sherlock Moriarty. After a careful investigation and with the aid of Beyond Our Means, we confirmed that he was pulled into the matter. Prior to the incident, there was no evidence that he knew the Prince Etzik problem. He and the dead Talon Dumont were friends, and he indirectly fulfilled some of the tasks entrusted to him by the prince, but there weren't many problems. At most, he had falsely made some fraudulent claims for his expenses. At this point, Eikenser suddenly felt a little worried because Sherlock Moriarty was also an informant for the machinery hive mind, and expenses here were likely to be somewhat exaggerated. In any case, his job as an informant was very efficient and very outstanding, enough to offset a lot of problems, and he hasn't become an informant for so long. The money involved was mostly just from commissions. Eikenser exhaled slowly and continued to report on. Our conclusion is that he's considered an innocent party and that there is no hidden plot behind him. He once keenly noticed at the danger of the Red Rose Manor, but this is a typical example of coming to the correct conclusion from an incorrect deduction. He was afraid of the royal family's internal strife, and for that reason, he had been slow in his work and didn't do any substantial investigations. On this, he had reported to us. Unfortunately, he still failed to avoid the matter, but he was lucky enough. He mentioned that that the descendant of Dev happened to be monitoring the vicinity of the Red Rose Manor, and at the time, hence, he was rescued from the perilous situation where the meteorite fell. Just a random meteorite fell. The signs, like, did they talk about the quill where the meteorite fell? The signs at the scene of the ample proof of how terrifying the strike was. It's likely due to 008. Klein mentioned that the existence of Inzingwon 008 in his letter. As for whether or not he knew the former Archbishop and the Grade Zero sealed artifact, no one was concerned about that because he was with Azik Eagers for some time. It was entirely possible that he learned the information from before. This was also a conclusion that everyone subconsciously came up with. As for the matters regarding Grade 0 and Grade 1 sealed artifact, the 7 Orthodox churches constantly shared information on the rough situation with each other, and the numbers were shared. Oh my god, I can't read. And there was no reputation. However, we haven't been able to grasp the entire situation. There are 3 matters that aren't confirmed. First, 211 indicates that 211. I don't remember 211. First, 2111 indicates that after Sherlock Moriarty fled into the forest, he didn't immediately escape far away. Instead, he stayed on the spot and prayed to someone. Second, it's still unknown when he and Ezek Eggers got to know each other. Third, it's still unknown how he escaped the underground ruins. It's unlikely that he could have done so without his strength, and in this process, he had even destroyed the descendant ritual of the Aurora Order. Iconster finally concluded. 2111 referred to the magical mirror erodes. A British accent? I don't know if I can do a British accent. 2111 referred to the magic mirror erodes. And also, is it offensive if I do a British accent? Client getting attacked by a tomahawk missile. Literally, that's what happened. Hormick left after he listened to the recount and muttered fraudulent claims of expenses. He then cleared his throat and indicates Sherlock Moriarty as a hero of Backland. If he hadn't stopped the ritual in time, if he had been frightened at that moment, he had chosen to flee, then most of us would have been alive sitting here. Moreover, they are praising him right now. Moreover, he had also displayed his faith in God and his friendliness towards us. As long as there isn't too much of a problem with him, then we can pretend that we don't know anything about his tiny flaws and secrets. Your Grace, this is what we were thinking of as well. Iconster heaved a sigh of relief and said, I guess his prayers in the woods included the ritual of blowing the copper whistle were to get in touch with Ezek Eggers, but the effects and the speed which can be different in such a critical situation, the only thing he could do was to try to save himself, which is something that we deduce from the follow-up process. Apart from trying to save himself, he could write his will, another machinery hive mind deck equipped before he immediately reported the portion he was responsible for. We haven't found the underground ruin which Sherlock Moriarty described. Even with the help of Rhodes, we still temporarily unable to grasp the location of the royal family's high sequence beyonders on that very day. It can be confirmed that the Church of Evernight received the information first. This came from a special channel of Earl Hall, but the specific situation is unknown. Oh, they got that from Audrey, right? Most of the forces of the Aurora Order in Backland have been eliminated by us, the Nighthawks of the Mandated Punchers. However, I suspect that they still have some hidden strengths. At the time of the incident, Sherlock Moriarty mentioned that the Trissy was headed to Backland, but no one had seen her ever since. According to Sherlock Moriarty, she was a key figure and was renamed Trissy Cheek. It cannot be determined what method the Church of Evernight used to capture the Demoness of Despair and the Butler. Funkel results via divinations tell me that they're still alive, but they aren't free. One by one, the deckhands and the captains reported on their findings, while Hormick half closed his eyes, seemingly deep in thought. After a few seconds of silence, he opened his eyes and slowly said, "Put all efforts into finding Trissy Cheek, if she's still alive. Past me all the problems where divinations had failed to provide any effective revelation. The Church has a saint who is good at this, although it's not necessarily more effective than 2111. As for the surveillance and investigation of the royal family's high sequence beyonders, it can be tabled. There's no need to worry. They've always been known what we've been doing. It's also a form of warning. Continue to the search of the underground ruins and report it to the Evernight and the Storms of Churches." Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Why? Wait, what did I catch? What did I catch? Did I miss something? It's offensive to us for having to hear British accent bullseye. I didn't say that. He said that. Checks? Cheeks? Wait, what'd I miss? No, I know they renamed her to Trissy Cheeks. I guess his prayers in the woods included the ritual of blowing the copper whistle were to get in touch with Ezek Eggers. Yeah. Wait, what about that? Yeah, no. They don't know that part's relating to the prayer. They don't know when he went above the gray fog. So, like, they saw him do the prayer, but they didn't know what it necessarily was, so they just deduced, oh, it's because he was trying to get in contact with Ezek. Yeah, they assume it's to get in touch with Ezek. The part relating to the prayer. Yeah, they assumed the prayer was like, oh, to like summon Ezek. Right? That's what it was, right? I think so. Yeah. No? Yeah, I assume that's what it was. Yeah, but they think he prayed to Ezek. Yeah, they think he prayed to Ezek when he... Yeah, no, I caught that. Yeah, my bad. Sorry I didn't comment on that. No, yeah, I assume they think he was just like praying to him rather than like Ezek just randomly showing up, right? Yeah, my bad. Yeah, sorry I didn't comment on that. Icontra asked 2111 how Sherlock Moriarty escaped the ruins as well. Hey, he's not going to answer. How he escaped the ruins, as well as when he got to know Isaac Eggers. Eikenster looked at the Archbishop and at his colleagues before gritting his teeth and said, "Yes, Your Grace." He was sadly convinced that his legends were about to spread from a few missionary hive mind teams, that he was in charge of all the Beyonders of the Church of the Gods of Steam and Backland. After a very well-rehearsed process, he opened his mouth and said, "Honorable Rhodes, my question is, why did Sherlock Moriarty get to know Isaac Eggers?" The silver mirror, which seemed to have eyes on both sides, suddenly started to glow with an aqueous light, quickly forming a scene. Sherlock Moriarty stood in a room watching a rat with a rotting belly burrow into a hole of a wall. Behind him was Old Calder and the owner of a budget hotel. He got to know Isaac Eggers while completing the bounty mission from him. That mission was issued by MI9, which originated from the concealment conflict. Eikenster interpreted the scene. With that, I'm sorry, is he not showing how they thought Klein was praying to his sugar daddy? That's exactly what they thought happened. With that, he chose to answer the corresponding question. He held his breath as he waited for Rhodes to give the soul-piercing question. As expected, he saw the bright red woods. Do you know the feeling of trying your best to win the favor of someone, but only to end up being abandoned without any progress? Damn. This question isn't sharp enough. It's unlike a Rhodes' usual style. Eikenster suddenly felt that the blood of the mirror seemed to lack its usual horror and bloody sense. It appeared somewhat weak. He didn't bother to think about why and immediately opened his mouth to answer yes. Congratulations, you got it right. A new line of text appeared on the surface of the silver mirror. Its color was somewhat pale. January 5th at 9 in the morning. With a gray scarf around his neck, Klein arrived at Rose Wharf, suitcase and cane. The white gate was dock-dered, unusually large compared to the height of a human. It was said to be capable of ferrying hundreds of passengers. It has the rich characteristic of the age within the chimney sails and its 12 cannons on both sides of the ship, necessary for defending against pirates and other peers. Under Captain Eled Cag's arrangement, the chosen stocky sailors and the crew lined up his mouth on the gangway. Some gangway? I can't even read that word. Some even deliberately revealing their legitimate revolvers, rifles, and knives. This gave the passengers on board the boat a great sense of security. They were no longer afraid of the journey that would take them 9 days to complete. Klein stood below, looked up, and climbed up the hang ladder in the undiluting blue water. My travels began. He took a step forward and sighed silently. Let's go, bro. He's going out to sea now, bro. All right, that's hype. Chain? Indeed, the mirror showed something different from Yeli. Yeah, so he's like, he was hiding that fact. He's not showing like how they actually know each other. That's cool. I do like how you guys told me, like, yeah, bro, Rhodes is just actually a simp for Klein. When you guys told me that before, I was fucking laughing, dude. I literally laughed to myself. I was like, Rhodes is a simp for Klein. My dumbass. I was just laughing at that when you guys said that. 492. Why am I putting 497? Oh, it's my timestamp. Hold up, timestamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chapter 5. Okay. Yeah, and since he hid the truth, he had to ask an easier question. Oh wait, that's why he has an easier question. Yeah, no, we know the volume name is Traveler. That's cool, dude. Yeah, and since he hid the truth, he had to ask an easier question to Eikenster. Very understandable. I wonder if Eikenster kind of like came up like I wondered like, oh, that's really unusual for him to ask, right? So I feel like maybe he's like doubting his answer. All right, well, let's keep reading. Next chapter. As soon as he, and I'm drinking my saliva. As soon as he stepped onto the deck and before he could even enter the cabin, Klein saw a figure moving through the crowd towards him through the corner of his eyes. He looked over his shoulder with an air of indifference but hidden vigilance, and he saw a man in his 30s wearing a black half top hat and a trench coat of the same color. The other party had a weathered face looking boorish but extremely masculine. His light blue eyes didn't conceal a smile as if they were immersed in many past events. He looks a little familiar, right? He's that guy I noticed at the ticket office yesterday. Oh, the one that turned around. He seems to be an adventurer as well. He's actually wearing a trench coat at sea in January. He's quite strong. While lifting his cane with ease and pointing diagonally downwards, Klein said with a smile, "Good morning, we meet again." It was like he was greeting an old friend. The boorish man, however, wasn't surprised. He stopped and nodded as a somewhat reserved manner, saying, "Cleves, a former adventurer." Oh, his name is Cleves. Mate, are you in the same trade? I thought you knew yesterday, Mr. Bloodborne, Klein responded with a smile. He didn't pass his cane to his left hand because he didn't intend to shake Cleves' hand. I can tell. Cleves maintained 2 seconds of silence and said, being an adventurer isn't a beautiful profession. I've already switched careers and become a bodyguard. This time I'm accompanying my employer's family to the capital of the Rorstad archipelago. He half turned and pointed to another spot on the deck. Klein traces where he pointed and saw a nearly 10 people gathered together. They were led by a plump, middle-aged gentleman with ruddy cheeks and spirited eyes. On his double-breasted suit, Klein could see the gold chain from his pocket watch and a jeweled collar brooch. Next to him was a lady in a wide-brimmed hat, and her face was completely hidden by the dark blue muslin? What is that? Like a veil? That hung down, and her figure wasn't too bad. Standing in front of the couple were 2 children. The younger one was a boy who wasn't even 10 years old. He was wearing a childish version of a tailcoat. The older one was 15 or 16 years old and was a lively, energetic teenage girl. Her looks couldn't be considered outstanding, but her pair of brown eyes were quite bright and intelligent. Her faint freckles and puffy dress added to her playfulness. Around them were 3 people carrying suitcases and all sorts of items. A man of 2 women, all dressed as servants. One of the maids had brownish skin, clearly southern continent heritage. The bodyguards protecting the 7 people were a man and a woman. They were dressed simply and neatly in white shirts, light sweaters, black coats, dark trousers, and sturdy leather boots. The 2 bodyguards deliberately didn't hide the outline created made by the gun holster by their waists. They didn't relax as they inspected the approaching passerby. Their eyes were sharp and they were composed. 3 servants and 3 bodyguards, Klein asked casually. This is quite an extravagant setup, which means that their employer is a rich person. Instinctively, he made his judgment. Yes, Cleves nodded. Without another word, he quickly turned around and walked towards his employer's friend. Klein was stunned. He didn't know why Cleves had specifically come to greet him. After recalling the novels, movies, and televisions dramas he had seen in his previous life, he gradually understood what Cleves was implying. He's a little wary of me, or should I say, someone who claims to be an adventurer while not looking like someone to mesh with. So he introduced himself in advance to indicate his identity and what his job is. It tells me to not have any plans regarding his employer's families. In short, you do what you want, I do what I do, and we stay out of each other's business. I like that motto. Is this the tact understanding between experienced adventurers and veteran bounty hunters? Interesting. Klein chuckled. He carried his suitcase and black cane as he went into the cabin. With this help of his ticket, he found his own room. With a creak, he pushed open the wooden door and walked in. The room wasn't very spacious, just large enough to fit a bed, a table, a cupboard, and there weren't even any hair. Its greatest advantage was that it came with a window. Swarf sunlight shone in its illuminating table and bedside with pure gold sunlight. Pure golden spots. A member of the crew mentioned that the washroom and the bathroom are public use, with about 8 rooms sharing one. If someone urgently needs one, they can provide a wooden toilet, but one must pay the cleaning fee of 3 pence each time. I have to be grateful that after the White Gate was renovated, it has many metal pipes, lead boilers are burning, and hot water is being supplied, providing a relatively convenient way of life. I said that word so weirdly. Otherwise, my travels wouldn't be a pleasant one. Klein silently sighed. He quickly took out his necessities and placed them on the table of daily use. When he was tidying up the place, he sat down on the edge of the bed, which wasn't too high, as he listened to the long whistle of the steam whistle. He felt the power of the steam from steam. He felt the power that stemmed from the steam and machinery contained within it. When the ship began to set sail, Klein looked out the window to sea and gradually withdrew his thoughts. He began to think about the most important thing that would happen next. The problem of how to act as a faceless. How would he act as a faceless? Would he have to be like different people throughout his journey? While facing the true creator's descent ritual and the powerful mystery, the decision to give up trying to escape and attempt to sabotage act allowed his potion to digest a little. Based on this feedback, he gained some new insights into acting requirements of a faceless. You can disguise yourself into anyone, but you are ultimately yourself. So you can disguise yourself as anybody that doesn't align with your morals, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you think is right. So it's like, if he was acting as like Ins Zengwil as a faceless, he wouldn't necessarily keep playing his part, right? He still has to remember like he's only himself and he still has to be himself, right? I assume that's what it meant. Because even though he was Ins Zengwil and at the end he became himself and like fought, right? I think that's what it meant. This is the principle which marionettist Rosalgo was made to remember. I originally imagined that yourself refers to my original identity, but from the looks of it, that's not the complete picture. What is considered as yourself requires serious thought. Klein leaned forward and bathed in sunlight as though he was thinking in state. After a while, he came up with an idea. Does this correspond to the spirit of one's identity, to the true identity deep down? Even back on Earth, Zoe McGree had worn a lot of facades which formed a social persona. In a sense, this was a big part of what wasn't real. Yes, when I become someone else, I can take over their identity. In order to not be discovered, I have to disguise myself socially, which is the same as wearing a different mask. When all the masks are taken down, there will be none left. What kind of yourself does a faceless see at the end of the day? Is this the deeper meaning behind yourself and the principle when I face my inner thoughts, overcome my fear, and challenge the impossible without reason stemming from society? Am I really acting as myself? This is to be explored and verified. At this thought, Klein changed his position, trying to sit more comfortably. Remembering everything that had happened before, he found another question regarding his acting. In the underground ruins, I disguised myself as Instant Will and successfully escaped from my predicament. But why didn't I feel any signs of digesting the potion at all? You had to remember who you truly are and not lose yourself in acting. Yeah, I remember he said that from the beginning, right? Like, at the end of the day, you have to remember you are yourself and you're only acting. Like, don't think like, oh, I am like this person that I'm as a faceless, right? Does this imply that to digest a faceless potion, a superficial disguise such as that isn't enough? Yes, this is closer to the use of beyond our powers than not acting. What can stimulate the digestion of the potion is a disguise on a deeper level. It is being a true substitute for a person, becoming that person on a social level, only when his relatives and friends are unable to find him for a long period of time, or does it prove that his disguise was a success? In that case, the reason why I feel harmony with the faceless potion is because I have previously digested myself as Klein Moretti. Oh. He previously digested himself as Klein Moretti. That's deep. The first principle of faceless is that you can disguise yourself as anyone, but you are ultimately yourself. The second principle is to have a disguise on a deeper level that fools everyone. But to replace a person and become that person in a social sense is quite evil just thinking about it. Don't tell me that I have to find those kinds of people who have died in a foreign land but have a wish that has yet to be fulfilled. Klein eased his baffling horror and he drew up his initial direction for his acting attempts. The higher the sequence, the more difficult it is to act. He sighed, took out his pocket watch, and checked the time. Since it was still too early for lunch and the room was still too small and cramped, he decided to take a walk on the deck and enjoy the scenery amidst the sea breeze. So maybe he disguises himself as his own, like, personal thing, right? Like, if he truly wants to go out at sea and find a mermaid, then yes, he wants to be an adventurer. So him taking up the Mr. Bloodborne persona, I feel like that would help him digest, right? Because he really wants to do that, so he's still being himself, but he's acting as someone else. But personally, he's still being himself on the fundamental level. That's deep. I think I interpreted that. I think that's how it's supposed to be interpreted. It's a warm, sunny day. Other than the strong winds, which might steal my hat. Did I read that right? I skipped a line. I skipped a sentence. After the excitement of the first hour of the voyage, there wasn't many people left on the deck. Klein walked along the side of the ship, arriving at a secluded area with large shadows. It's a warm, sunny day. Other than the strong winds, which might steal my hat, there are no shortcomings. He pressed a hat-top hat on his head and leisurely surveyed the cabin, listening to the faint sounds of the music coming from the inside. Suddenly, he saw the former adventurers, Cleves, busying himself around the corner. In front of him seemed to be a triangular blade, a dagger, and a short knife. Cleves sensed this and raised his head to look at him. Keeping a well-seasoned demeanor, he said in a taciturn manner, "We're all old mates and we have to maintain them frequently." At this point, he added, "There are children in the cabin." Understood. Klein smiled in response. Sorry, I had to burp. Let me lower the music down a bit. At least for me. That's good. Sorry, I had a cough. I think we're gonna be able to read like 6-7 chapters. This isn't the last chapter. I think we still got time for like one more. I'm thinking like 6 or 7. Also, since I'm still kind of like congested, I don't want to go 3 hours and then hurt myself. So long as we're consistent 2 hours for like 5 to 7 days, I think that's chill. I think we'll be good. But we'll see what happens. Let me find my place. Cleves lowered his head and continued to busy himself. He casually asked, "You don't seem to have these things with you." "I'm used to using weapons that keep abreast with the times," Klein said vaguely, "and I frequently do maintenance." I don't know why my music paused. Oh, never mind. Clive suddenly raised his dagger, looked at it in the sunlight, and said to himself, "At sea, guns alone aren't enough. Pirates will board your ships and there will be a lot of people. After you finish shooting your bullets, you won't have the opportunity to reload again. Although these guys no longer keep abreast with the times, they're still useful enough. Very professional. Ain't no way, bro. Are we gonna have like a... Like, are they gonna try and like pillage the ship and then Klein has to fend them off? Because that's gonna be badass if that happens. Pirates will board the ships and there will be a lot of people. Yeah, very professional. As expected of a former adventurer, Klein leaned against the side of the boat and said half jokingly, if there really are pirates boarding the ship, I'm more likely to choose not to fight back. Cleve turned his head and stared at him for a good 3 seconds before retracting his gaze. Then as he paced up his bags, he said in a low voice, it seems that you don't need me to remind you. You've already understood the rules of the sea. The bounty hunters who travel the earth are often unable to adventure at sea. He skillfully hid the dagger, short knives, and triangular blade under his clothes, which dazzled Klein. Thank you, Klein smiled and nodded. Without speaking any further, Cleves turned around and returned to the cabin, leaving behind only his broad and deep back. Klein smirked, shook his head, and turned his gaze to the side of the ship. Blue waves gently rose up and down, and silvery white flying fish occasionally leaped out of the water and soared in the air. This fish can fly and swim. They're considered the family of the Lord of Storms by fishermen of the sailors, so even if they were caught by the nets, they returned to the sea. Klein was leisurely admiring the surface of the sea under the sunlight, as well as the flying fishes above the surface of the sea. An uncontrollable thought flashed through his mind. Huh, I wonder how good their meat is? Wait, what was that? What are we saying wrong? Like air. Muh? What word is that? Does a good rhyme? I swear, if he reads yours... Wait, hold up. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna read all of your guys's. Hold up. I'm gonna read all of them. I'm gonna read all of them. I'm gonna read all of them. Let me just do my... Let's do our last timestamp right now. 1 hour, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. I think we might just do one more chapter. Can't say man directly instead of the m whatever thing. Here starts Mr. Bloodborne's quest for delicious foods. I'm the favorite child username. Hold up. Let me go back. Chat disconnected. Oh, wow. Stream actually disconnected and reconnected. Where is he right now? Say air plus mun. Like the end of human. Airman. Oh, you're talking about German. German. Easy reading lesson. German. German! Why was I saying German? I'm like German Sparrow. German Jack Sparrow. Ermin. Easy. Okay, so it's Ermin. German. German. With a G. With a G. German. German. Oh my god. Like, it's so weird. It's like, I know it's German. Like, I played Budburn, like, German is here. Like, German. German. No, it's not air. German. Blurman. Only Lowen, Intis, etc. What is that, Joshua? Air easy. Jack Sparrow that wears socks in his sandals? Air. Read the message again. Air. Air. With a G. Air. German? Oh my god, I said German again! I keep saying German. Okay, say J like air. Air. Jer. German. German. It still sounds like German. Why couldn't Kalfish just use names like... Yeah, why couldn't he just name like Bob the Adventurer? Like, why couldn't it just be Bob? Like, remember when we were making fun of the Rafe? Like, Rafe Steve? Why couldn't he just be like Adventurer Bob? Why does he have to be like German? Like, bro, I read a funny ass comment of a Chinese reader, and I thought Cuttlefish was just taking English names, but after seeing your reaction, that's clearly not the case. Son of a bitch. We're just gonna call him Bob. We'll just call him Mr. Bloodborne. We'll call him Mr. Bloodborne. German. German. German literally sounds like German. German. I have to like mentally think the name so I don't say German. 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 Okay, wow. Holy shit, man. I've been trying to fucking pronounce Mr. Bloodborne for like 2 minutes. All right. Let's read one more chapter. That was funny. All right. Chapter 400. And 93, as we are updating it here, and we struggled for a long time pronouncing Mr. Bloodborne's name, and chat disconnected. It's okay, we're reconnecting right now. It's called Hunting. GR? What? Oh, chat reconnected. Oh my god, everybody's back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Chat was disconnected for like a minute. Oh my god. All the messages just came through right now. Oh my god. I think chat crashed over here. Hold up. Should I refresh it? I literally think chat crashed. Hold up. Hard G, like, it's a hard G. Oh. Hard G like a slur. I love Bob Uchiha. Naruto. It's my nemesis. Bob Uchiha. Okay, wait, hold on. Chairman. Gorman? Bro, I can't. This shit is hard, bro. This ain't English, bro. This is like Cuttlefish did not use English. This guy's using old English. He is using like the old British English, man. Geeky, we're gonna waterboard you until you get it right. Hold up. Okay, man. I'm not gonna read this chapter right now. Hold up. Let me catch up with messages. That commenter cooked you? Hold up. Let me catch up. Gore Moan? Laugh myself. Not G Air. German. German. I got it right. It literally sounds like German. German? Send him. It's not that hard, bro. Bro, hard G. What the fuck is a hard G? G. German. G like good. German. Oh, German. Is it German? Honestly, just keep reading G like in great. German. Ah, it's German. Ah, I knew that. Bro. Dude, that was like 5 fucking minutes. German. Holy shit, dude. That took us so fucking long. Bro, you played Bloodborne? Bro, I haven't played Bloodborne in like 10 years, my guy. It's been like a decade. Holy shit. German. Oh my. Hold up. Why didn't I just do this from the fucking beginning? Hold up. I can't even find his name.
He kind of seems like he's gonna.
No, not that one. German. Wow, why does the doll look like Sharon? I just realized that. Oh my god, the Bloodborne doll like literally just gives me Sharon vibes. My internet crashed. Easy reading lesson. German. Bro, you play Bloodborne? Today's Yerman joins the clan. Joins the hunt. Joins the clan. Oh my.
At the start of the Beast Scourge, German was one of the first Yarmanites to take notice of the beast.
I can't believe it took me so long to. I should have just listened to that short. Cuttlefish is a big Bloodborne fan. Man, that's sick. I'm waiting for the blood. You know what's be funny? If they have like they fight like a cleric beast. I think that'd be sick. Or like there's like a boss fight or like a monster that has to fight. And it's kind of like the Bloodstarved beast where you can't get too close to it, where it gives off like the poison bottle effects. I think that'd be pretty sick. I remember that fight was so hard for me back then, man. I could not process that shit. The Bloodstarved beast, but it was such a cool fight. There were so many cool fights in that game. I want to replay that shit on stream. All right, let's read one more chapter after that huge tangent. So, German, yeah, Bloodborne 10 out of 10 game. Dude, 10 out of 10 game. It took me so long to pronounce his name, but we finally did it. German. How to pronounce.com German? Ain't no way. How to pronounce.com/German. There's an actual website called How to Pronounce. And it gives you the names. That's funny. We're gonna have, bro, we need to have this shit bookmarked. I love German. I can't believe I've been saying German. All right, we're good. We found the pronunciation. We got it. We got it. Honorable roads. My second question is, how does Sherlock Moriarty escape from the ruins? Iken's mood was a little more relaxed than before. The surface of the sewer mirror shimmered. Rapidly outlined Sherlock Moriarty leaning back against the wall, his fist clenching tightly. Then Iken's Bernard and the surrounding machinery, hive mind, decons, and the captain saw the private detective's exaggerated smile before turning around and dashing out with his gun drawn. At that moment, under the influence of the composed scene, all they saw was an inexplicable sense of sadness and excitement. Oh, our Rhodes is hiding the fact that he's a faceless. Is that what happened? How did he escape the ruins? Then Iken's Bernard and the surrounding machinery, hive mind, decons, and the captain saw the private detective's exaggerated smile before turning around and dashing out with his gun drawn. At this moment, under the influence of the composed scene, they all felt an inexplicable sense of sadness and excitement. Dude, Rhodes is so hype. He literally hit the fact that he's a faceless. Like, yeah, bro, he went guns blazing, bro. Like, literally James Bond, bro. Like, he went running through that shit. Like a Mission Impossible. No, he literally ran through that shit like John Wick. He just ran through. That's exact. Rhodes hyped him up, dude. The image in the mirror jumped, revealing Sherlock Moriarty real. Oh my god, I can't read. I'm getting hyped up. Like, even though like this isn't what happened, it's still hype reading this. Revealing Sherlock Moriarty wielding his revolver as he shot at the altar to no avail. The scene of those disintegrated bullets caused everyone present to be a little worried. Then Sherlock Moriarty threw out a brass key and the altar showed signs of instability due to the corruption. With the erupt air blast, Mr. A fell to the ground and Sherlock Moriarty pathetically fled out of... He pathetically fled. Rhodes really is the best waifu. I love Rhodes. I love him, dude. Then Sherlock Moriarty threw out a brass key and the altar showed signs of instability due to corruption. With the erupting air blast, Mr. A fell to the ground and Sherlock Moriarty pathetically fled out of the temple building. At this point, the image changed to have a slightly turbid Tusik River as the main background. Sherlock Moriarty and Mr. A floated in the other water, looking up into the sky where there were no clouds or fog. Almost instantly, Mr. A became transparent and disappeared, leaving only Sherlock Moriarty looking around in astonishment. The Church of Evernight's reinforcements, Ikenser said with a frown. Unfortunately, he didn't mention what appeared in the letter. We have no way of guessing. Was he trying to sell this secret for a good price? Or was he simply affected by it and lost the relevant memories? Also, his experience of escaping from the underground ruins doesn't show anything. It seems like the corresponding clues have been concealed at the same time. He analyzed it quickly, its procedural sentence, and then without too great a psychological burden, he chose to answer with reciprocatory instead of taking a risk. Our Rhodes doesn't seem to be in the mood to be a prankster today. I can make the most of it. In his self-consolation, Ikenser saw bloody words appear on the surface of the mirror. With a skip of his heartbeat, he had a bad premonition, suspecting that Rhodes had already recovered to his usual state. The blood-like words wriggled and quickly formed into a question. Who was the person you gave your all to while trying your best to win the favor of, only to end up being abandoned? Who? With his head buzzing, Ikenser's face drained of all its color before flushing red. No way, who is it? Like my mom or like my sister. Like, don't tell me it's some crazy ass into shit. Hold up. The question pierced a deep wound in him while leaving him at a loss as to what to do. If I mention who he is, then his reputation will be ruined before tonight. I've already become a kind of legend in some sense. Ikenser swallowed his saliva with great difficulty and bitterly said, I choose punishment. Oh, a Rhodes, yo. If I mention who oh wait, hold up. Is Ikenser gay? Is that what it is? It foreshadowed that before, right? Easy being an owl? Who? Yeah, right. So he's gay, but he's hiding that. Oh, he's hiding that from them. Oh, so if he says who's like the higher up, it put his position at stake? Yes? Oh, that's why he blushed red so long ago. I remember they mentioned something like that. This has been long. I forgot about that. Hold up. I took like a week off, guys. Hold up. Yes, bro. I think it's been explicitly stated several times. I remember one of the questions was like, do you relieve yourself? Or so. Yeah, bro. I think it's been... I forgot when was the first time. I forgot about that. Okay. The question pierced a deep... Well, I skipped the line. With his head buzzing, Ikenser's face drained of all its color before flushing red. The question... Oh, wait. No, I read this. I choose punishment. A bolt of lightning immediately descended. However, it was different from before. It was no longer silver white and had been dyed with slightly green. It hit him right on the head, causing his hair to stand on end and flash with the color of lightning. He shook violently like shaking dice as though he had been drugged with a hallucinogenic drug? Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way what? How dare you forget this important detail? Shame on you. No, I remember it was like mentioned. Well, look, I was reading my notes. I'm catching up with my notes. I had 355. I did 25 chapters. I skimmed chapter 330 and made it to 355, and it made a reference that said he was gay, and I was like, I don't remember that. I was like, holy shit, was that? I was like, I don't remember if that was mentioned or not. Illegal drugs? No. That was not what you're gonna talk about. That was a joke. We don't blame you. Okay. Well, let's finish strong. Easy, you forgot a lot of things between reading sessions. You sure it's alright to read 2 really long lore-heavy series? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna do SSS. All right, I'm gonna go now. Username. Thank you. Yeah, man. After like noticing I'm like starting to forget stuff, like in general, it's either that or I read SSS like once a week for an hour and just make that like a weekly thing. Well, the only reason I started reading is because I know there's a manhwa coming out. Maybe I just wait for the manhwa and I just read the manhwa by username. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, username. I don't know. Maybe I just wait for the manhwa. I think that's what I have to do. I think I just have to like stick to, yeah, he's like 7 chapters in SSS. I don't think it's really affecting it. Well, no, like she means like in the long run. Red brain rot by. Yeah, I think they mean like in the long run it's gonna affect. Like it'll be like too lore heavy, especially because they're also really lengthy. The poor Shadow Slave fan who keeps asking for new streams. I know, I feel bad. There's one person who's been very consistent. I know he's very passionate. He's not. I don't mean passionate in the mean way. Like they want me to read more. But I'm like, shit, man, it's gonna be hard. I should have done it. I think I did it too early. I know, man. I'm gonna get people mad. Maybe I just private the videos and like we never talk about it and pretend it never happened. No, I'm kidding. No, we don't have to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna try maybe once a week. I'm gonna wait till Sunday. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see. But let's keep reading. Archbishop Hormanstein closed his eyes and muttered to himself, a grade 0 sealed artifact. When Eikenser recovered, he looked around and said, there's one more question. Where did the key that Charlotte Moriarty used to destroy the Descendant ritual come from? Which one of you is going to use 2111? All the machinery, hive mind, decons, and captains looked at each other for a moment. No one responded. No one wants to take the risk. No one wants to do punishment. The sound of water splashing against the ship seemed to be only sound left in the world. I read that wrong. The sea at night was both noisy and quiet. Klein suddenly woke up and opened his eyes. I thought we were with Alger, bro. I got so used to Alger being out in the open sea. Klein suddenly woke up and opened his eyes. He saw the wooden ceiling covered with a crimson moon veil. His spiritual intuition told him that there was something happening outside. Is someone having a rendezvous? A what? Rendezvous. Oh my god. I'm so out of it. He tilted his head to listen vaguely, able to hear the unnatural sounds. He sat up, put on his gloves, and put on his coat. His eyes turned dark as he took out a gold coin, flipped it, and quickly performed a divination. After receiving no revelations of danger, he took out the revolver under his pillow and put it in his pocket. After making the appropriate preparations, Klein opened the door and walked out of the room, following the sound of the upper deck. At this moment at sea, away from the industrial pollution, the crimson moon quietly hung there, mysterious and dreamy. After careful bypassing a few patrolling crew members, Klein arrived at the area where there was a commotion. He could smell the faint scent of blood. With the help of the moonlight, he looked over and saw the former adventurers Cleves squatting to the side of the ship and setting up something. There were 3 people hidden in the shadows of the cabin about a dozen meters away from this gentleman. One of them was a companion of Cleves, a female bodyguard in the black coat, and the remaining 2 were the children of the employers, a girl of 14 or 15 years of age and a young gentleman of no more than 10 years of age. The siblings. The 2 youngsters wore thick cotton nightgowns and outer coats. It was obvious that they had come out in a hurry, the trembling amidst the chilling night wind, but they still squatted there full of energy and vigor, looking at Cleves with his bright eyes. They're playing hide and seek, Klein joked inwardly. He purposely increased the he's joking. He purposely increased the volume of his footsteps, causing Cleves and the others to turn their gaze towards him. Friend, what happened? Klein recalled the expression of some bounty hunters he knew in Eastborough, but he still maintained Gurman? He still maintained Gurman, Sparrow's unique identity of being cold and sharp. Cleves replied unperturbed, a private job, a hunt that came by the accident, but one that's worth looking forward. A hunt. Klein's interest was suddenly piqued. The reason he had named himself Gurman was that it represented the first hunter of a game he played in his previous life, and it suited his idea of hunting evils at sea. Klein played Bloodborne and he loved the first hunter. He loved German from Bloodborne. Oh shit. He loved Mr. Bloodborne himself. Bro, not only that, bro, that was probably like the best boss fight in the whole game, bro. You fight him and like the white flowers are there. He's on the hill. Oh my god, and then the red moon. Oh my god, Bloodborne, the red moon, Mr. John Bloodborne. Wait. Did I just realize that? After like 500 chapters? There's a red moon in Bloodborne, and the final boss fight is German. With like, oh my god, whoa, that is so cool. So, is Emlyn the moon presence? I don't know. But yeah, oh yeah, Emlyn is the moon. Yeah. Emlyn did choose the name of the moon. Playing hide and seek as I lose my place. The reason he had named himself German was that it represented the first hunter of a game he played in his previous life, and it suited his idea of hunting evil at sea. Klein was in no hurry to inquire about the reason. Using his left hand, which wore creeping hunger, he pointed at the shadow next to him with his left finger. Private job, doing a private job in front of your employer. Cleve, who was squatting there, glancing at the boy and the girl, and said without changing a stone, Cecile wasn't careful enough and ended up waking Donna and Denton up. She had no choice but to let them follow. The girl called Donna wrinkled her nose. When she heard her name mentioned, she curiously looked up at Klein. Uncle, are you also an adventurer? Why, of course. Bro, talking about Bloodborne on stream before and hadn't noticed? I know. Bro, I haven't played Bloodborne in like 10 years, man. Ain't gonna lie, it's been a while. It's been a while. And also, that was the one platinum I never got, and I fucking deserve that platinum. I deserve it. I was stuck on this one fucking boss fight because I distributed my points in such a stupid way. And I was fighting this like 8-legged creature, and it's like it cuts all your stats and health, including your health. And I'm like, bro, this shit was like one-shotting me. I had to get good. I was not good 10 years ago, but I was good enough to get to like new game plus 4 or 5, but I wasn't good enough to get past that boss fight that took half my health down. I keep running out of vials. Oh man, I'm getting triggers thinking about it. I still never beat it. Donna and Denton goats. Well, let's keep reading. Let's see what happens. Klein was in no hurry to inquire about the reason. Using his left hand. Ooh, hold up. I gotta hear this song. This song is pretty good. Klein was in no hurry to inquire about the reason. Using his left hand, which were creeping hunger. I read this. The girl called Donna wrinkled her nose when she heard her name mentioned. I read this. Uncle, even if it's the me from Earth, I'm at most 10 years older than you. Klein said in amusement. No, you can't use that word. Also, strictly speaking, I'm the only adventurer here. They're just a bodyguard right now. Oh, that's true. He said he's a retired adventurer. He turned to Cleve and said, hey, mate, what prey did you discover? Cleves looked in the faint crimson waters and said, a murloc? Murloc. That's a beyond creature. Even though it's of the lowest grade, it's still quite difficult for ordinary people to deal with them. They would need at least 5 to 6 people and 4 to 5 spears to have a chance. That's right, the scales of a Murloc's body are very hard. Revolvers can only deal a little damage. They need to have a rifle. Klein raised his eyebrow. Bro, he got air bullets. Klein raised his eyebrows and asked, what do you plan on doing, and how are you sure it's a Murloc? Cleves pointed to the edge of the ship and said, there are traces of body mucus here. 1 or 2 hours ago, it tried to climb onto the ship to attack the passengers, but the deck was still bustling with activity and there were lots of sailors and crew. Klein took a few steps forward and saw that there were some traces of the green corrosion on the side of the ship. He recalled the information he had come in contact with Tingen City and it conceded with the content in his books. He asked with great interest, why must it be one and not a group? Let's play Bloodborne music while we're at it. Hold up. Let's play Bloodborne music. He remembered that the Murloc had the tenacity to live together. If it's a group, they'll directly destroy the ship hull and let everyone seek. Moreover, the area around this channel and the surrounding sea have already been cleared of Murlocs. The Church of Storms really enjoys hunting them, Cleve solemnly explained. That's because the Murlocs are probably one of the main ingredients for Sequence 9's Sailor Potion. Klein stroked the revolver in his pocket and asked with a smile, are you confident? Cleves didn't directly answer him and instead opened a paper bag beside him. Inside the bag were some pig organs still stained with blood. This was the source of the smell of blood that had Klein noticed. All Murlocs like this kind of food and are unable to resist its allure. Of course, the monsters love human organs the most, so in many sea legends, it emphasizes to prepare some pig or beef organs from the ship's kitchen or canned organs. Cleve said as he sprinkled some, I wonder if they used the wolf skin thing, it'd like ward them off. Pepper granulars can cause the murlocs to feel the excitement of smoking marijuana and lose some of their sense of balance. This can last for about a minute, and after that, the murlocs will be exhausted after that high state of excitement has subsided. He then took out a wooden box from his clothes and placed a dark green paste on the tip of the triangular blade dagger on the short knife. The mint cream that popularized in Prince Harbor is a unique sweetener for humans, but in the eyes of the murlocs, it's a deadly, bloody toxin. In addition, I borrowed 2 rifles from the sailors. I got an agreement to not disturb the area for 20 seconds, and I spent a sizable sum of money. However, long as I can successfully kill a murloc, then I'll be able to reap 10, 20, or even 30 times the cost. As expected of an experienced adventurer, he's exceptionally aware about the weakness and problems of his prey. Listening to him speak, I feel like they have a chance of successfully hunting the murloc, even if they aren't Beyonders. In the face of a traps and firearms, low sequence Beyonders really aren't much stronger than the average person. It's not like there are no low sequence Beyonders who die in gang wars. However, murlocs and creatures that seem to wear full body armor, it's not easy to kill them. They would be injured, but it's not likely they can escape. Klein curiously asks, you seem to have killed quite a number of murlocs. Understanding the characteristics of common sea monsters is a very prerequisite for any adventurer's survival. For an adventurer's survival, Cleves didn't show the joy of being praised as he remained calm and silent. As they conversed, the girl dawned on the boy. Oh man, if one of these kids get killed, bro, it's gonna be bad. As they converged, the girl dawned on the boy. Denton squatted in the shadows and listened with relish. If a murloc gets them, that's gonna be wild, dude. They found all of this to be the most interesting thing in the world. Yes, I also need to brush up on my studies in this area. Klein smiled and said, so that's how it is. I didn't disturb you, did I? Cleves pierced a portion of the organs on a rod and said with a deep voice, if you want to participate, take care of Donna and Denton so that Cecile won't be distracted. Sure. Klein, who wanted to watch from the sidelines, smiled and agreed. All right, we did it. I think we're done for the day. I like it. It's a good setup for the arc, for this Jack Sparrow arc with Klein, right? With Mr. Bloodborne. I like it. I'm liking the vibes of this volume so far. Hold up, before I forget, let me do overall thoughts. 1:17. Over. Before I forget, I like it. I'm liking the vibes in this volume. Overall thoughts. Klein is not letting a fodder Murdoch getting past him. Yeah, I feel like he'd be able to take it out instantly. I feel like he'd take it out instantly with like an air bullet, and then Cleves is like, how did he do that? Like, he's a lot stronger than he looks, right? Like, oh, I thought he was strong. Wait, hold up. Is there any fan art on Mr. Bloodborne on German Sparrow's new appearance or not? Is there any official artwork on that? I don't know. I think it'd be cool to look at that. Let me see. I want to see if you guys posted any last time. Oh, look, there is a paper figurine on that one. That's pretty cool. Audrey Hall. That's a pretty cool one. Yeah, I don't know if there's any spoiler. Oh, hold up. I don't know if I should click on that one. There's something that says spoiler. I don't know if I should click on that one. But it's cool. I'm liking where this is going. I'm liking Klein's journey. Plenty. Yes. Nice stream. Thank you. Nice chat today. Amazing chat. Amazing dashing chat. You guys are all beautiful, handsome. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was beautiful. We had an amazing day. I know we only read 6 chapters and we only streamed 2 hours, and stream is buffering and crashing, so we might have to refresh, but the stream is still recording. If a spoiler, don't click on it. Yeah, I know. Tell me why I freaking clicked on that, dude. Oh man, that was bad. But it's okay. I almost clicked on it. Probably the persona with the most art of Klein. Really? This is the most art? Yo, you guys gotta share some of this art. Hold up. Hold up. Oh my god, I unhid that. Hold up. Oh my god, how do I hide that spoiler? Oh! Wait. I don't want to look at that. Hold up. Okay, it's hidden. Woo! Here? German Sparrow art? I'm excited. Hold up. It's loading. Bro. Holy shit. I think that's Klein's best persona. Holy shit. Why does he look so hot? What the fuck? God damn. This is literally life goals. I want to look like that with a top hat. I mean, mine is the hair, of course, but I want to look like that with a top hat. Holy shit, dude. Who is this man? That's not Klein. What the fuck? Damn, that's crazy. I can see why there's so much fan art. Oh! Then come back. Change channel. Second art of German. Oh, I know, right? Holy shit. He's hot. What's that one thing Squidward says? Oh no, he's hot. I shouldn't say that. Miss Easy Geeky would get mad at me for saying that. When you getting the top hat, bro? Hey, look, man, I returned the old top hat because it was cheap material. For 25 bucks, that hat had pretty shitty material. At least for my bald head, it was very itchy. So we're gonna get a really good one. He got faceless powers. Of course, he's gonna make himself look good. Motherfucker, man. He got the good genes. He got lucky, bro. Some of us got bad genes, man. Life is unfair. But point is, that's the face he wore when he ran into Benson and Melissa at the train station, right? That was the face. Yeah, okay, now I remember. Yeah, that was the face he wore. I remember he even made himself look a little bit taller. He looks a little bit taller, skinnier. I like that. It's cool. He got faceless powers. When you get in the top hat, bro? Yeah, oh, wait, I read that. I'm dumb. I already read that. But it's cool. I had a fun stream. I know we were only live for like 2 hours and we only read for like an hour and 20 minutes. So I apologize for stalling for 40 minutes. But we technically did watch the GTA trailer. That was pretty hype. But I'm going to let you guys go. And we will be back tomorrow. All right. Peace. And have a beautiful day. Oh, wait. Also, wait, hold up. Before I end stream, he kind of remembers me of Arima from Tokyo Ghoul. Oh, Arima? I'm sorry. Was Arima the dude with white hair from Tokyo Ghoul? No. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's the guy with white hair, right? Oh, shit. Yeah, dude. Dude, Arima was such a badass character, dude. That guy's whole story was like fucking wild, bro. Like when he goes up against Klein, oh fucking Klein. When he goes up against Kaneki, bruh. Oh, hold up, before I end stream, it was a fun stream. All I'm gonna say is, I'm not scheduling tomorrow's stream because I have to do something IRL, so I'm not gonna schedule it. But when I get back, I'm gonna stream for as long as I can up until this time. So like originally, I would stream for like 2 hours tomorrow. Right? But because I don't know if I'm gonna be back when I start, I'm not gonna schedule it. But the second I get back, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna try and read up until this time and then I'm gonna end stream. So like, I'm really hoping we don't read 3 chapters. The goal is to read 5 chapters, but we'll see how we do tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not gonna schedule stream, but if you guys are awake around this time, we should be live. Or we should be ending stream around this time. We'll see. Bro, stalling the goodbyes? No, we're not stalling. We're not stalling. All right, but I'm gonna let you guys beautiful day. I'm gonna bookmark this on the EPUB so we don't forget. Hold up. I actually don't know how to bookmark. How do I bookmark on this? Hold up. Find your bookmarks here. How the fuck do I set a bookmark, bro? Enable highlight mode, enable notes mode, page slider. That's right. All right, we'll leave it there. All right, guys. Peace. Have a beautiful day. Later. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.